Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner and I'm here with James Farley.
You're right.
Matt Murray.
You're right.
And Sean Bell.
All right.
It just got more northern as we went along then. Matt, you had a little bit of a northern twang in your voice then, and then Sean just come in like a wrecking ball.
That's just what I talk like. I don't know what you're talking about.
We're going to start the show by thanking our Patreon producers this month, the Full Nelson Crew. They are Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Jack Oven, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights are Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gazman, Happy Birthday Sam and Neil, Gabsy, Rocketman76, Rex Reese, Happy New Year Sam, Love from Neil, Grey Dragon Claw, Fred Fenge, Smooth Monkey, Happy Mother's Day Sam, Love from Dr. Farley's Sexy Fan. They are the Full Nels crew. They went Full Nels, and you can do too. Go to patreon.com/TCGS to sign up for the Full Nels tier or any other tier, because there's plenty of other stuff on offer this month. We got bonus shows. We've got a live... Now, have we decided what we're doing for our gaming stream?
I assumed it was Walkabout Mini Golf this week. This month.
That's what I assumed.
Yeah,
why
but
are we
also
not
there
doing
was an
Switch
assumption
Sports?
that it could be Switch Sports.
Yeah. Well, that
I think we need
though.
some private discussions.
It will work. Okay.
It
Will
could be
it?
fun, Sean.
All right.
Couldn't it?
All right.
Couldn't it?
Yeah, but
It'd be fun.
But it involves me moving a load of shit around.
Right, okay. Well, put the effort in. So yeah, go to patreon.com/TCGS. If you've already done that, thank you so much for the support. We really do appreciate it. We've got a few things to tell you about. Extra TCGSCON tickets are on sale, and we've been told that we are down to single digits on those. So please, if you want to come to TCGSCon, which is Laser Quest, a live show and a meet and greet on the 2nd of July in Sheffield, Laser Quest, then please, is it Quasar? Laser Quest? We've had this discussion before, haven't we? Listen, you'll be shooting at each other's with lasers, yeah? Don't worry about what the brand name is. Come along and join us. That's on July 2nd.
Can I confirm, is there a dry ice machine as part of this?
Oh,
I would assume there's at least
concern.
one, but we
There's
should check.
got to be, isn't there? We should check before we announce that, though.
If not, can we bring our own?
Good point.
Because they're not as expensive as you think.
If only for the entrance for the live show. We can think of that.
Yeah, if they're not expensive,
Final
let's get
countdown
10.
playing in the background. Yeah, it'd be good.
Speaking of live shows, we're doing a live show next week. It's episode 300 next week of the Computer Game Show, and we're doing our show live on Twitch from 9 p.m. That is, what is that, Monday the what, Matt?
Monday the 9th of May.
What? Monday the 9th of May, and our Twitch is TCGSCon?
No,
Fucking hell, Dave.
Why would it be TCGSCon?
Yeah, why would our Twitch channel be named after a one-off event?
TCGSCO. TCGSCO.
Yeah, twitch.tv/TCGSCO.
Sean, shut up. I'm trying my hardest, all right? I'm really trying my hardest. And you can't have a go at me for doing that. You can't have a go at me for doing that.
It's twitch.tv/TCGSCO, or just search TCGS in the app, and now we're kind of top of the search rankings. So
top
pretty
of the
important.
league.
Pretty
Come
important.
on. Yeah, come and join us 9 p.m. Please, if you mark it in your calendars. We'd love to see you at on Twitch for our live show next week for episode 300. We want a nice big audience for that, and you get to see our faces as we have these little arguments.
Don't say that; it might put them off.
No, absolutely not. I mean, the amount of emails we've had that's like, I didn't think you'd look like that. They're the weird ones, aren't they? When we get an email saying, I've been listening to you for years and I've only seen you for the first time on Twitch or a photo or whatever. I couldn't believe how you looked. And then that's it. And you want to go, well, no, what did you have in mind then?
Yeah.
Because, what was different? Because this is weirding me. Don't leave it there.
Tell me what you thought I would look like.
Well, next week you can come into the chat and tell us what you thought we looked like. Matt,
Don't do that.
tell us about our social media explosion this week, please.
Yes, one of the biggest posts we've had in terms of engagement was sadly the picture of 4 slippers. Sorry,
Why
4
sad?
pairs.
Why?
It
you were
was just,
so weird about this.
You
before
hated
put
this,
it up,
didn't
you
you,
were like,
Matt?
do we really
I
need to
did
do
hate it,
this?
yeah.
Why?
because it's just not a very nice post to look at. It's literally 4 pairs of slippers.
Yeah, but I mean, we had loads of pictures of James just
Yeah, but look at
standing
James.
about in New York.
That's good content. These are 4
I mean,
pairs of
like,
slippers.
Matt, you were saying on WhatsApp, like, it makes us look like old men. I've got some bad news, mate.
I'm sorry to break it to you. We are old men who wear slippers.
I know
There's
we're
no
old men,
getting
but
around
then,
it.
like, just look at the feed
You
and,
don't have
like,
to
there's
flaunt
just
it.
literally 4 pairs of... It doesn't matter. Yeah.
People liked it, Matt. People liked it.
It
We
did.
had a lot of people guessing incorrectly. So, yeah, as we talked about last week on the show about slippers and preferences, and then David suggested we'll put out a post on social. We did that, asking people to guess who they thought each slipper belonged to. Obviously, anyone listening to this, you should probably go and look at a picture, but I'm about to reveal the results now. So,
If you don't want the results ruined, please skip ahead.
yeah, if you don't want to know the score, please leave the room now.
Yeah.
A lot of people actually guessed number 1 correctly, and the rest were kind of all over the place. But a lot of people did say number 1 was Dave's, and those are
Absolutely
indeed Dave's
right.
slippers.
Bog standard slippers. Happy with those. Happy with those ones.
It was all over the place really from 2 to 4. But number 2, those belong to James Farley. What did you say, David, when James posted his picture about them?
Yeah.
When James posted a picture of his slippers, and I went, they look like Link from Zelda's starting shoes. No, that was it. Link wants his starting shoes back.
I was quite pleased with that. I thought
Really?
I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Okay. Go on.
So David's number 1, James number 2, between 3 and 4. Number 3, those were Sean's, leaving number 4 to be mine.
you.
Were you disappointed with how many people thought, like no one thought they were yours, Matt? Was there
No, I
something
love
about
that,
you that this?
because a lot of people are like, it's obviously 4's a Sean, because you can see, like, bite marks on the dog. But no, they're actually rabbit bite marks.
What? You let your rabbit go near your?
Well, it's not a case of letting them. They just
they're
fucking...
house rabbits all over the place.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, they're house rabbits. So you don't have them in a hutch outside.
When
I
we
don't
had
think-
rabbits, they fucking ate through the power cable on the fridge. Like they just
Why
they,
would
they
you have
get
them indoors
everywhere.
then? Why would you
Because
have
they're
them
too
indoors
bloody
then?
cute, and I don't want them outside in a hutch.
Yeah. And they kind of
well,
they'll go like 6 months without doing anything like that, and so you just don't really see it coming.
My question though, Matt, is for your slippers, Matt. How much research did you do before you bought them?
No, I've given up doing that because I go through so many pairs. It's unbelievable.
Oh yeah, because you got the toenail thing, right? Is it a toenail thing? I can't remember.
No, I think
It curls his feet up.
Yeah,
or
I
something.
curl my
Apparently
feet a
his
lot.
feet,
In fact,
his toes are so powerful they just burst through slippers, don't they?
I thought that was
Look.
interesting. Someone said, "Oh yeah, you can't. This one can't be Matt's because of Matt's like feet." And I was like, "What? How do?" Oh no, I forgot that everyone knows everything. Yeah,
They do share too much, I think.
These are good. So first of all, I think Sean, your first picture of your slippers, they were on laminate. I was like, no, we can't have that because everyone will guess
Yeah.
that yours were on laminate. And some people did think number 1 was Sean. So like,
Yeah.
come on guys, a little bit easy. One's clearly Sean's because of the laminate, which I quite liked.
But then they really obviously didn't have a backing on them, which I specifically said was a
you
requirement
don't
for
wanna wear-
me in slippers.
Yeah.
So that was that an intentional bit of misdirection, Dave, on your part?
Perhaps at 100%.
Yeah.
I got photos of them on carpet and I went, no, slip it.
Not gonna work.
It's a laminate. I'm just super conscious now that we are just talking about slippers. I think I've just joined Matt's side. Is that just it?
Finally.
Hit me?
Imagine also this is someone's first episode of the computer game show, and they're like, "Yeah, we're doing 4 hours of Laser Quest. Now on to the slippers section."
Messaging
alright,
their friend
well.
who recommended them the show, like, is this the right one? Are they, yeah, it's them.
Right, okay, let's go on to feedback then from last week's show. Let's hit that one. Come on,
Yeah,
Matt.
we're going to start with David's friend Colin Ross Wilson.
Not a friend.
That's the name Colin chose for that. Feedback. Hello, friends. I hope this message finds you well. It finds me well. Would you like a story about how it finds me well? Of course you don't. This is the feedback section of the show. Why would you want to hear about me? Having fed this back to you before, I keep hearing people telling you stories about what they are up to and what they are doing. Some guy giving opinions of games during the feedback, which is a very poor way of shoehorning their lives into the show. If this is how we're going to do things, moving forward, I propose we change the name of the feedback section to Listener Story and Opinion Time section. Having preemptively assumed the response to this proposal, maybe we shouldn't have listeners' story time and opinions at all, unless it is to do with the show. Maybe we should leave the feedback to feedback of the show, like this is. Also, I have a question, but I will send that separately as a question. A man must have rules. Have a great week, friends, from Colin.
So what? Because I know Colin didn't like it when we read out Gary's review of Sifu. But what's prompted this? What happened last week? I can't think.
I don't know. But honestly, I am all up for changing the name of the feedback section to listeners' stories. I mean, that's the way. I'm not suggesting we say to our listeners, you need to change what you send in. I'm suggesting we change the name of the segment of the show. And now time for listeners' stories. Doesn't that sound
really
better?
don't want to do that.
That sounds better, James, doesn't
No,
it?
because can you imagine the length of stories people would send in once encouraged?
I'm all for it. Let's work.
Mind you, no. If we do that, then Matt has to print them off and then read them from paper and make it very obvious that he's reading it from paper as well.
I'm thinking if we do this, it should be on Twitch, and James should be reading it in front of a fire.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's a good shout.
I'll do that, and I'll do that
shout.
thing with my glasses where I put it on the end of my nose.
Yes,
and then read
didn't
it.
Sean do exactly this for something?
Yeah, Sean did.
I did. Yeah, one of the
You
Patreon
did a bedtime
outros.
story, didn't you?
Yeah, I read out. It was a story from Lost Odyssey, and it was very depressing.
Classic literary tale.
Yeah.
Okay, next bit of feedback.
Hip hop.
Next listener story, please, Matt.
Yes, I love it if the next one was a massive story, but it isn't. Hip Hop the Frog, David and Rhythm Games. Glad to hear David is a fellow rhythm game fan. Rhythm Tengoku and Gitaru Man have all been praised to high heaven, which leads me to think he has a dusty DDR mat and a pair of Cuban Hill boots in the closet. Please check out Sekiro. It's a rhythm game at its core. Love the show.
Okay,
that sounded a bit like a review of a game. Maybe we should have. Sorry, Colin.
So actually, sorry, Mr. Frog. No, actually, DDR is like the one rhythm game that I've never enjoyed. Like I've never got,
you
never
never had
understood
Dance
it,
Mat?
never liked it. We had dance mats, hated them. You know, I tried them in arcades and stuff, hated it. I've never got on with dance mat games.
Well, because it's not really, and I say this as a man who refuses to ever actually dance. Just mashing your feet on buttons on the floor is not actually much like dancing, is it?
Yes, but then Guitar Hero is not much like playing a guitar.
It's a lot
that's
closer
the way I see
than
it.
fucking.
I don't know. Like you've still got to put your feet in the right place, haven't you?
Have you know, Sean? Dance mats taught me everything I know, and I'm not sure if you've seen me on the dance floor, but it's very obvious where I got my skills from.
I will say it's always impressive watching someone do that. Like where they're like using the back bit, and they're like leaning up. It is always impressive, but at the same time, like you go, I don't know. Like, if you could do it, congratulations. I cannot do that.
Yeah, I had a dance mat at university.
Two of the things at the same time, it's nuts. You had a dance mat at university. Was it one of those like cheap ones you got them from the marketplace with it was basically rubber?
Well, it's just one that came with whatever one of the games were at the time. But yeah, that always meant that my room at uni had people in it doing some dancing, and then we moved.
I had the really awful sort of plasticky, fabricy ones. They were
I had the Mario one from the. Do you remember Dancing Stage Mega Mix?
Of course he did.
No, do you remember there was the Dancing Stage Mega Mix that was like the Mario version of it that came out?
I had the Disney one because that was the only one they had in the shop at the time.
But no, it came out for GameCube. It was. I mean, I hated it, but my ex-girlfriend really liked it. But then it was really annoying because I lent it to my
regular
cousins, and then it got their dog ate the dance mat. I was really annoyed.
What? What consumed the whole thing?
No, not the whole thing. I mean, it chewed through all the cables and gnawed the edges of it and everything, and so it was useless.
Get a rabbit.
And it's quite annoying because it's worth quite a lot that now.
Yeah,
my
totally
sister wanted a dance mat. You could get a dance mat for the PS2, right?
Yep.
My sister wanted one, and instead of getting a dance mat and the game for the PS2, which we owned at the time, my parents got her one from the marketplace, which it had the wires to plug directly into the television. Do you know what I mean?
What?
So the game was stored in the rubbery plastic mat.
It's a standalone thing, yeah.
Obviously, one, it was crap. Two, all the music was high-pitched MIDI music, so it wasn't even proper. It was like beep, and it was all like out of time. The fucking thing didn't work. It was like, Dad,
Man, this sounds amazing. Imagine streaming this.
Well, if anyone's got one of these direct-to-TV things, send them to Germany. They'll find their way to James, and we'll get a decent stream out of it, I think.
Oh, they will. That's it for feedback. Go to tcgs.co/dear TCGS to leave your feedback.
God, it's a bumper news segment this week, James.
It
I hope you're prepared.
I've got loads of stuff here.
Yeah, you got loads of stuff, but are you prepared? Have you read more than the headline?
I've read more than the headline, yeah. But this is probably still going to go wrong when you start asking me questions.
Okay.
Anyway, so the first thing, I mean, this happened, was it today? I think it was today.
Yeah, it was.
No, Monday. It was today, Monday.
Today is Monday, James.
You all right, James?
Yeah.
Good start.
Yeah, I know. Just drank some Red Bull. It doesn't taste as nice without the Jägermeister in it, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's becoming a problem, isn't it, for you, James?
Tastes better. Anyway, Square Enix have sold off their Western studios and IP, including Tomb Raider and Deus Ex. So they sold this to this thing called Embracer Group, which I've never heard of, because it's one of those...
Are you joking?
Yeah, I've never heard of it, yeah.
Oh, I've never heard of them either.
Surely we've all heard of them. They've bought a million IPs. We've known that for years.
Yeah, they're actually huge, aren't they? I mean, I see where James is coming from. It's not a name that you hear a lot.
Yeah, can I ask you a question, Matt?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know this company 2 days ago?
I thought we all knew about them, especially James, the news hound, because we knew they kept buying a million things. We talked about them on the show, must be at least 5 to 10 times. One of our listeners
can confirm that. I reckon Matt has read the article that they bought all these IPs this morning, and now he's acting like he knew them all along. What do you reckon about that?
You've heard of them, haven't you?
Yeah, didn't they? They used to be. This is what used to be THQ Nordic. Is that right?
Oh, is this that they just buy everything but don't ever release anything? So they just own everything basically.
What else do they own?
Just THQ, all the THQ stuff.
What's the THQ stuff?
Well, no, didn't they also buy all like the Midway stuff and all that sort of stuff? Anything that was just going, they just buy IPs.
They've got 200 IPs on their books.
Yeah,
it's
so what's the play then? If you're saying that they don't release much, do you reckon they're just hoarding all these big IPs in a hope that a bigger company comes and wants to buy the job lot from them?
I don't think so. I don't know what their play is. I mean, obviously from Square Enix's point of view, this looks a bit like trimming things down for a sale, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I just thought, yeah, maybe. I think, like, the Square Enix point of view. Yeah, but when you say sale to who?
Okay, shall I read to you what it says
sorry,
here?
I think I cut in when the actual story was being read out. So.
Go on.
Yeah. So anyway, so they bought. So Embracer have bought them for 300 million, which a lot of people are saying that seems very cheap. You know, to get like all of these different all these different IPs.
Because every acquisition recently has been like $48 billion dollars or whatever. Yeah.
But then Daniel Ahmed has obviously tweeted saying that all of these Square Enix's Western studios have underperformed over numerous titles. But that's according to Square Enix's assessment.
Yeah, the company says every game underperforms.
Yeah, they always say they're expecting it to sell like 20 million or whatever, and then it sells like 5 and they're disappointed.
Yeah.
But then Square Enix have now said the sale to Embracer enables the launch of new businesses by moving forward with investments in fields including blockchain, AI, and the cloud. So, but yeah, the speculation has been that they're getting rid of all their Western studios to make themselves more sellable for somebody else to buy them eventually.
Who though? Who, like, what do you think?
Well,
because,
I mean,
like, to me, it's like from when you look at what they're selling and what then it doesn't look like they're going to be bought by one of our big platform holders, right?
No, I mean,
they could.
They're not. They're not likely to get bought by Microsoft. I don't think that's likely to happen.
Microsoft or Sony, because I think if you're doing that, you wouldn't be selling IPs like Tomb Raider, because that becomes...
Well, wouldn't you though? Because, like, I've said before, like, there's always been rumours that someone's going to try and buy Square Enix, and I've always said, like, probably not, because in total their portfolio isn't like, there's no like one particular niche that they fill. Like, no one's going to buy Square Enix when they're also putting out, like, sort of those like AAA sort of Western action games, because Microsoft and Sony are both pretty much sorted for that kind of thing now.
Yeah,
the only reason someone will buy Square Enix is as the
Sony,
JRPG studio.
Yeah, Sony got Uncharted. They don't need Tomb Raider. It's that kind of thing.
So for Square Enix to start offloading the Western stuff does make sense.
But the question is, though, what have Square Enix got, though? Like, without that? I know they've got, they've got JRPGs, haven't they?
They've got Final Fantasy, and they've got all the old Final Fantasies, and this...
and Kingdom
Hearts.
They've
got a huge amount of mobile. Don't they do a lot of stuff with mobile?
They do a lot with mobile, yeah.
So, and I think that's what I'm saying. I think what we're seeing is that Square Enix, maybe they are looking for a takeover, but at the same time, I think their focus is on, more money-based, you know, like what you say about their reaction to Tomb Raider, sells 5 million copies or whatever, and they're going, it's not good enough for us. Because they're comparing it to the other side of the business, which is raking it in through
well, I mean,
mobile.
You say that, but then look at Final Fantasy 15, which I can't remember the sales numbers, but broadly speaking, didn't go down so well, and yet that had fucking so much time and money thrown at it, and yet apparently, zero scrutiny whatsoever. Whereas, Tomb Raider sells 5 million, it's like, boo! Like, it seems incredibly unfair.
This also feels a bit Konami, doesn't it? In the sense that it's like them saying, yeah, we're going to go into blockchain and AI and the cloud and all that. It's just like anything but games, that we're going to...
Yeah. It's very strange. But, I mean, if we're saying, Square Enix have been a bit shit and possibly, mistreating or misunderstanding these studios, then maybe this sale is a good thing. Maybe we'll start to see a bit more respect shown to those IPs.
Yes.
I, for one, wouldn't mind another Legacy of Kain game. But, I mean, who knows?
It is weird, though, that, for example, Microsoft didn't just come and swoop these up,
this is it, isn't it?
Because you'd be thinking, why wouldn't they want, Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Thief, all those games,
There's some big names there that they could just the IPs, 300 million. Like that, for those IP, I think Microsoft are mad not to have gone for that. Maybe they did, or maybe they don't need it. Or...
I mean, especially because Crystal Dynamics is helping with the development of Perfect Dark, so they must know a lot of stuff about how the teams are working, how systems working, how the business is doing in terms of Crystal Dynamics at least. So you would have thought that they would have jumped on any kind of opportunity to get them and bring them in-house properly.
I mean, I have no idea how these things come about. Like, did Square Enix approach the Embracer Group first, or what? I don't know. I don't know how this stuff works.
I found it interesting as well that they are still keeping Life is Strange, Just Cause, and Outriders.
They're keeping Outriders.
These are the ones that are from external studios that are not Square Enix studios, are they?
They're not.
Are they still just publishing them then, presumably? Like, they don't own them or anything, they're just publishing their games.
They don't own
I should probably say, a bit of a weird one for, Square Enix staff based in the West, because, presumably there's going to be some trimming there as well. Because, ultimately, if they're doing, less publishing of primarily Western games, that's probably going to reduce needs in terms of staffing. So that's that's one sense in which this is probably not good news. But yeah, strange one.
It is really strange, but yeah,
it's a bit of an odd one. Okay.
So more Square Enix news is that Yuji Naka has taken Square Enix to court over Balan Wonderworld, which is not a headline I thought I'd ever hear. But it is a bit strange.
He took them to court, isn't it?
And he took them to court, and it's now been settled, and that's why he's talking about it now, because it went on before. So the game launched in March last year, and it had a Metacritic of 36.
How good was it
on the Switch, which is pretty bad.
Not very good.
Yeah.
No,
and so in a Twitter thread, Yuji Naka said that there'd been a business order that had removed him as the game's director about 6 months before it came out. And so then he filed a lawsuit against Square Enix over this. And it seems... So this is according to Games Industry Biz. They said that his removal appears to be around two disputes. One concerning the use of a YouTuber to play the game music in the marketing rather than the original score. And the other was over this co-developer called Arzest. Yeah.
His removal appears to be around two disputes.
Yeah.
One concerning the use of a YouTuber to play game music in the market. What?
Right, so
I don't get it.
So for the marketing, it seems that they used a YouTuber instead of the music, like the original
someone
score
doing
from
a
the game.
cover of okay,
Right,
yeah.
okay.
Which,
What, Square Enix used a
Yes.
YouTuber?
Yeah.
Right, okay, right.
I mean, which from a marketing standpoint, that doesn't seem like a terrible move. I can see why, as the game's creator, you might be a bit like, what the fuck?
yeah, but you've got to rely on a marketing department.
Yeah.
They make those decisions. That's the way it goes. Right, okay.
And then also there was a dispute with this co-developer called Arzest who about submitting the game for release without fixing like a whole problem, like bunch of problems with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he said personally, I'm really sorry that I released the unfinished work Balan Wonderworld to the world. I want to think about various things and put it out in a proper form as an action game. I think Square Enix and Arzest are companies that don't care about games and game fans.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we've taken a piss out of Yuji Naka a lot, and I feel for him here. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I genuinely feel for him here. And I know you could argue that actually 6 months before a project goes live there's not a lot of time in game development, right? I understand that.
The last 6 months before a game goes live is
I know,
huge.
And this is the point because he kept on
did you play
saying,
Balan Wonderworld?
Well, no,
there was
this-
more than 6 months worth of work.
yeah.
there, I think.
This was the point because he said, like, usually in game development, like, you're doing things right up to the last moment of like
of course,
tweaking it, improving
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
and
yeah.
like doing all sorts of stuff,
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
that couldn't happen, which was the problem.
Plus, like, fucking, how sick would you feel knowing that a game was coming out and the publisher was still plastering your name all over it, even though you hadn't touched it for 6 months?
That's the bit.
And
Yeah.
it was shit. Like,
Yeah, that was the bit that got me because such a big part of the launch of this game, like the reveal of this game, was Yuji Naka is making this thing. Like it was. This is the Knights team, right? So that's what they were, and to realise that they got rid of like the director like 6 months before it come out and kept it quiet. That's
It's rubbish, isn't it? Because it's all like, it was that sort of like, oh, he's lost it, he can't make games anymore, this is rubbish, and all that.
yeah. Well, that was what we were saying on the podcast.
He feels
I
pretty
feel
much
bad about that now.
Yeah.
But you know what? I also like, James, the amount of people that were defending it on Twitter.
Yeah, the people were like, it's actually really good.
This is great. People just don't understand it. Like, I wonder what they're saying now.
it's like,
What was it you said it was better than Mario Odyssey? I'm sure someone
I
did.
don't know, but
No, I don't know either,
but I
James.
bet they had fucking Shadow the Hedgehog as their avatar.
Yeah, I can't remember who that is at all, James.
Yeah. It was terrible. It was a really bad
Joke
game.
there.
Particularly the music. Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
it was not good. I liked it when the characters just disappeared when you moved to like five steps away.
You don't
from that
understand it,
music.
Dave. You don't understand it. You'll never understand it. It was meant to do that.
Jesus, right, okay.
Okay, so the next piece of news is that Microsoft have announced their Xbox and Bethesda showcase for June. So this is coming on the 12th of June at 6 p.m. UK time. There's not actually any details really about this, although apparently, according to the internet, all of the studios that Microsoft own are going to be showing something. So everyone's contributed. So this is going to be about 5 hours long, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be great. I can't wait for this. This is going to be really good fun. But Matt, you seem convinced that this is the start of a traditional E3 style week, right?
Yeah, I mean, they've gone for the Sunday as they would typically. I'd be really surprised if we don't have a Nintendo's on the Tuesday at like 5 or 6 o'clock. I mean, well, obviously you don't have Sony anymore, so, who would typically do like, the 2 a.m. on a Monday or whatever it was. But I think others will probably largely fall in line. I mean, it went over a long period last year, but we still did lots of it over those 5 days. When you were apparently off the internet, David, we still did all that. There was just a lot of shows which came and went. And then the major kind of outlier last year was the fact that EA's was going to be in July, but then this year they're not even doing a show. So I think it will still largely hit on between. The Saturday. I think I think it's been confirmed, but the Saturday would be the Jeff Keighley thing. Sunday, Microsoft as usual. I bet Nintendo will be Tuesday, and then there'll be other stuff in between, Square Enix and Bandai Namco and other things, no doubt. But I reckon it'll be largely the same as it has been.
We've not made a decision on what we're going to do this year in terms of podcasting around that. Obviously, we'll want to do live talks overs and all that sort of stuff. But I think it's going to be, I don't know. We don't know what we're going to do. We're going to see what announcements come out, and then we'll make a decision. Because at this, we don't want to do an E3 style show if it's not going to be as good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No point forcing it.
Yeah. We need James to miss some real content. Is what I'm saying.
I mean, I imagine there'll still be Nintendo, but who knows? But I was saying in our WhatsApp group in the week, it's still doesn't feel the same about Sony, and I think that I'm still gutted that that's the case. It just kind of lost
and
lost the fact
EA.
there wasn't.
I'm sorry, but and EA, right? And we might say EA was never really part of it. They did their own thing. It was still over that weekend, and some of the stuff was still fucking hilarious. Like some of the shit they come out with.
They had some of the best
bad
stuff, didn't they? You know,
Oh yes, James. I am Jesse Wellens, YouTube content creator. Hey Rick, like that stuff was so good that it kills me that. Do you remember we predicted Jose Mourinho was going to turn up at one of the conferences and he fucking did. Like that was one of the best predictions we'd ever made. I think with more and more companies sort of bailing out, like that's all I want. I would like to see EA, Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft, and maybe a couple of others around that sort of time. It'd just be so perfect. But I don't know if we'll ever see that again now. And it's shit. It's shit.
It's going to be really interesting to see if E3 comes back next year. You know, if they try and do anything.
I really
at all.
hope they do, man. I hope they do. I hope they do.
Okay.
I hope they do.
I hope they do.
Next story is that Activision have lost a third of their active players in the past year. So in March 2021, they had 150 million monthly active players across their games. So this is mostly for like Black Ops Cold War and Call of Duty Warzone and stuff. And then in March, like this year, they've got 100 million. So like there's a third less than a year ago. And they've acknowledged that the reason for this is they said that Call of Duty revenue was down like year on year, and they said this is because Vanguard hadn't done very well, and also there was lower engagement in Warzone as well now. But yeah, apparently they're going to reveal a new Call of Duty Warzone experience soon, although there's no detail on that. But also on the Blizzard side of stuff, what's it called? Their active users have also continued like declining as well. They're down 13%. From before.
But Call of Duty needs a rest, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think it does. You know, there will always be space for a Call of Duty game. You know, but I think I mean, yearly is hard to pull off at the best of times, right? But for so many years, just pumping out that game, I think it's finally got to the point where people... I mean, still, 100 million active users isn't bad, is it?
No.
Let's face it, there's still a business there to be had. But
just give up, Dave. I mean, it's just pointless. Isn't it?
Only 100 million? Fuck
what is the point? It's just...
Only 99 million people listen to this podcast, and I'm done, mate. I can't be bothered.
The thing I find interesting is that obviously March 2021, there was still a lot of, you know, COVID-related lockdowns, work from home, that kind of stuff. Like that's got to impact it in some way. That surely a lot more of the world's open again. You know, there are less lockdowns. I mean, March 2021, at least in the UK, there was, you know, the kind of work from home thing. I don't think we weren't in full lockdown then. I don't think, but also who knows? I can't remember anything anymore.
We've just discovered that Matt's been playing a hell of a lot of Call of Duty while he's supposed to be working from home, Sean. I don't know if you've just picked up on
that. Only grassed himself up.
The 50 million, that's me, gone. But yeah, I mean, that's got to affect it, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It wasn't mentioned at all in this
comparing
piece.
year on year.
I mean, because I did wonder if part of this was a response, obviously, to all the, you know, the abuse allegations and stuff, but then gamers are generally terrible at voting with their feet, so... Probably not.
Yeah, and I think there are also a lot of hell of a lot of Call of Duty players that don't follow the gaming news scene.
Yeah.
You know,
totally.
So they wouldn't even know about that.
Yeah.
I think you're probably right, Matt. If you're doing year-on-year comparisons, it's kind of difficult to do that with a year where everyone was stuck in their homes and a year where you know we were still stuck in our homes a bit, but not as much.
Are we saying this means that 50 million people have a social life? Like more, you know?
Possibly, possibly. I think maybe more if you count everyone in the world. Sure, I'm not one of those 50 million people, but one day I aspire to be. So,
imagine that. Horrendous.
Who knows? If I find a friend, mate, I feel sorry for that friend because I'm going to be too intense for the first month or so.
And they're like, "Can we play Call of Duty?" You're like, "No, we're going to Yates's."
You're coming out to that tonight? I'm knocking on his door. You're allowed to come out and play. No, this is not how it's done, David. Go home. Dear friends.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the reveal of a new Call of Duty Warzone experience this year.
Yeah, so am I, mate. Are we done with? I mean, we are. I wonder what the state of battle royales are.
I heard a rumour today that Halo was doing. There was going to be one. I mean, that's
Who
always
did you hear that from?
good.
Jeff Crow. But yeah.
So, no, James, is that the rumour or is that a confirmed thing they've already said they're kind of doing for next season?
Whatever, Matt. I don't know. It's yeah.
No, go on, Matt. What was that?
Well, for season 2, it's not quite full battle royale, but it's kind of like last something standing on like a smaller map. And a lot of people are saying, is this the start of their battle royale kind of mode, or
hence the rumours? Yeah.
Dude, there's some fire between you two tonight.
Anyway,
you're either gonna never podcast with each other again, or rip each other's shirt off and start kissing. No, I'm hoping it's the latter, because that's the sort of energy coming off you.
Only if there's a smoke machine going off at the same time.
That's it. That's why James wants a smoke machine. He's trying to recreate the bathroom thing.
Okay,
let's go. So, you remember when Game Pass first started out, right?
Oh, he's a pro, isn't he? He's a pro.
Do you know what he sounded like then? He sounded like an American talk show host doing their was it their monologue at the start? Yeah. Do you remember this?
What's the deal with Game Pass?
Go on, James, say that again.
So you remember when Game Pass first started out? And,
Game Pass, Game Pass.
There was the whole like £1 thing, and also people figured out you could stack your subscriptions and all that. And your subscriptions. You could basically get it for for years, and it was fine. And Microsoft were totally cool with this. It was great.
They were cool with it.
It was really, 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 really good. So we had the PlayStation stuff recently, the PlayStation Plus,
remember
changes,
the PlayStation stuff,
all that kind of stuff, right? So people were thinking they were going to get in on this and think, we can recreate those great Game Pass memories of stacking subscriptions,
barely paying.
And so, and prepaying.
This is a long way around the houses, James. Go on.
I'm looking at all the news stories. Which one is he talking about?
I'm not sure.
I thought I'd try something new, and it's clearly not working.
I'm sorry.
No, carrying on with the Xbox story.
So basically, anyway, Sony have basically said you can't stack subscriptions now, which is ridiculous. They blocked it until after it launches in June. And so
it's
they
unbelievable, isn't it?
Fucking hell.
I mean, do you want the quote? They said, if you currently have PlayStation Plus or PlayStation Now membership, due to changes we are making to the service prior to launch, you won't be able to redeem a voucher code for that service until your existing membership expires and deactivates, or after the new PlayStation Plus service launches in your area, whichever happens first. Rest assured, your voucher code is still valid. As we prepare to launch the new PlayStation Plus membership service, we are doing some work behind the scenes to make the transition as smooth as possible for all existing members. As part of this work, we've temporarily disabled stacking memberships for existing customers until after the launch. Matt, how many of these have you bought? Just out of curiosity.
I'm so glad I didn't. This fucks me off so badly. It's come on, get people into the service, and they want to play it. Then they want to pay for it afterwards because it's part of their lives. That's what a lot of people do. Can have free trials. Microsoft did, still doing the stuff with Game Pass to get new people through a door, and then see how much it impacts their lives, how much they like it, and if they like it, then they may invariably want to pay for that once the deal ends. So you're like, nah, fuck you. We wouldn't dare let anyone possibly stack this and make it a subscription.
Like they're launching this service and they're angry about it. Like they've been pushed into it. It's all right, we'll do a fucking Game Pass thing then. Oh, what are you doing? All right, well, don't let them put a stop to that.
Don't let them get value for money. Fucking hell,
that's ridiculous. You're right. I mean, we've looked at Game Pass. Game Pass has, I think, been quite a success, whether it's there yet or not. In terms of really bringing in the money for Microsoft, who knows? But the subscription base is huge, right? Mm. And they've done that because they've basically given it away for the first few years.
And they created massive goodwill, on top of that, which this absolutely doesn't do. I mean, this is just so money-grabbing. It's horrible. It's just...
They're doing what? I just imagine, someone at Sony with a massive cigar in their office. Come in. The the tiered thing we're doing. Yeah, someone told me about that. Oh, well, what people have done, they've worked out that if you just buy lots of years worth of PlayStation Plus, then it's slightly cheaper than actually what we're going to be charging them for the next thing. Have them killed. You can't have them killed. We'll ban them all then. You probably shouldn't ban them all. Like, it's so weird. The reaction to it is so bizarre.
Turn off the feature we've had from day one. Because stacking, they've done stacking with PSN
we can
since it
do
came
to
out.
them without them actually seeking legal damages against us.
yeah. Well, how can we really fuck their lives up?
So don't worry, they'll still work. They'll still work just after we've launched this, so that you can't take advantage. It's just, I don't know. It's just so money grabbing.
I mean, I'm slowly. I've only got PlayStation Plus, right, and I've got that till the end of the year or the start of next year, and I'm thinking, oh, well, I'm going to be put on Essential when it crosses over. I don't know. When they first announced it, I thought I might upgrade, but is there going to be anything on it that I'm going to play?
See, my still feeling with this service is it just sounds like exactly what they're already offering. Like with PlayStation,
I know what you're
PlayStation
saying.
Plus, which is really disappointing. It's, but we'll see. I mean, maybe it'll be better. I mean, the next news story I've got for this is about the game trials. So they've also issued a new policy which says that
this is mad, isn't it?
Any games that are $34 or higher have to include like limited game trials and that will run for a minimum of 2 hours. And so, yeah, like it says, game creators will have a period of up to 3 months.
Wait, slow down. So this is any game that's $34 plus. What? Not on their store?
Yes, on their store, on the PlayStation Store.
That is wild.
Does anyone get access to that, or do
No,
they?
it's only the people in the top tier. It's the ones in the top tier.
So why the fuck would anyone let? I've got a game on that store. Why would I let anyone do that if I ain't seeing a penny of that? I'm assuming they're getting paid for it.
Well, presumably, but then it's so the problem with this is what about smaller studios to start with, but also what about shorter games as well?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
if it's like it has to be a minimum of 2 hours. Does this mean we're going to get like massive long cutscenes again? You know,
possibly.
I mean, just
times.
to play devil's advocate on that, generally for like smaller studios or shorter games, they won't be as high as $34.
True.
That's true. But my as I say, my argument is this: why would a developer let them do that if they're not seeing a cut of that subscription?
Well, we don't know if they're not. Well, we don't know that, do we?
Well, I mean, Microsoft did this before as well. I mean, do you remember when the 360 launched? They also had the same requirement that all games had to have a demo.
All games had to have a demo. Yeah, they did. You're right.
What a lot of devs found was that, broadly speaking, especially for like smaller games, like people are more likely to play it for that hour or two, and then be like, right, well, I know what it is now. I'll wait for a sale or whatever. Like that initial like, oh, this looks really cool. I should play it. Like just completely goes away. But then, I mean, so it says in the news story that developers or publishers have got 3 months to put the trial up. I would suggest they all make use of that full 3 months.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's a weird stance to take, isn't it?
It is curious.
Because they wanted to offer something for the premium tier.
Yeah.
I wonder how many games we see suddenly reduced to $33.99.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
I
if it's a $35 game,
you're
like, I'll sod this, $33.99 it is then.
Yeah, because I always wonder this on like, so the Epic Store, whenever they have a sale, like they do this thing where they give you like a 10 quid voucher, right? But it's like you can get like an infinite number of them, but you can only get one at a time. So if you spend it, you then get another voucher to spend on something else, which is really good. But it's like, oh, you can only use it on games that are like $15 or more. And you're going through the store like, there's games on here for $14.99. Did no one tell them? Because effectively that game is 10 quid more than a game that's 15 quid. Do you know what I mean? Because a 15 quid one, I could use the tenner off voucher, whereas a $14.99 game, I can't. So it's like, did no one tell them that this was going to be the like the threshold? But I mean, I guess at least with this, obviously they have said it's $34, so at least devs can make that decision for themselves. But it's weird.
Yeah, it is a weird one. I mean, obviously we know that the premium tier has these demos. I think at the time I was like, oh, it's going to be like It's going to be like the EA limited trial for big games. I didn't realize it was going to be every game potentially. So that is interesting. Although it's just a demo. So why am I getting excited?
Okay.
Okay. Next story is that PlayStation are also setting up a game preservation team, and they've hired this guy called Garrett Fredley, who's taking on this role as a senior build engineer at PlayStation. And I'm not entirely sure what they're doing with this because they haven't really explained exactly what this means. But he just says, game preservation was my first career passion. It was my first foray into the world of software engineering, DevOps, and into a world that so many are unaware of. I was just a novice back then, contributing any way I could, regardless of my inexperience. Now I'm back to it, no longer the novice I once was. And they just said, "This is we're continuing with this." I mean, I guess this is good, but I'm not entirely sure what they're doing with it. It's
it's nice to see like a major platform holder actually. I mean, I say this may come to nothing, but it's a start, right?
Especially given their previous attitude towards this stuff.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Why would anyone play old games? I've always said, I've always defended piracy, not because I think it's inherently good, just in terms of preservation, it's often the only route because platform holders haven't taken it.
It's also free and that.
Yeah, platform holders haven't taken this stuff particularly seriously in the past, apart from Nintendo going, "Oh, you give us £6 for a Commodore 64 game." It's been an interesting one. So I mean, this ties in as well, doesn't it, with the new PS Plus stuff because that includes old games, but then that already being in place, what's this new this new team for? I will be interested to see where this goes.
Do you know, I wonder how quickly they're going to lose interest in this new PS Plus thing.
I mean, I don't know anyone who's really jazzed about it.
No, I mean, Sony themselves.
They in Sony.
Yeah, Sony themselves.
I mean, it hasn't launched yet. It's a bit harsh, isn't it?
No, because if you look at stuff like PlayStation Now, they totally just didn't bother with that, did they?
Yeah, that's the thing. It depends how much they push it, right?
Yeah, and it's if you look at the last couple of things, the things that Sony have released over the last couple of years, they never seem to stick with stuff for very long. I mean, PSVR as well. That lasted 2 years or so, 2 or 3 years.
Well, they're doing a new one.
Yeah, that's true. But but they and also Vita as well. They didn't support that. Really as it went on, and it's
true. Plus, the whole it's easy to forget now that the sort of the first half of the PS4's life, it was the indie console. It was they were making loads of effort to get loads of indie devs in, and there was loads of cool and interesting stuff coming out on PS4, and then they just sort of stopped.
Yeah, they were we've got all really these weird people now, we've got all these AAA games now. We don't need that now, which is a huge shame because there seems to be a lot of good stuff coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, you say that. Okay. This is a story about a game preservation team starting up, and they're about to launch this new service. So I assume they're going to properly push it, but who knows?
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Mm. It's just because it feels like they've been pushed into this, by what Microsoft have been doing, and that's why I just wonder if they're going to stick with it or not, because I don't know. Anyway, last story is that Nintendo and Illumination are delaying the Mario movie into 2023.
Yeah, this is game, wasn't it?
I mean, do you want the Miyamoto quote? He says, "My deepest apologies, but I promise it will be well worth the wait." But then he also tweeted on the Japanese account, "Please give me a little more time to make a fun movie." So, yeah.
It was an amazing tweet saying Miyamoto here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
I mean, cool. This is good because obviously we want it to be an amazing movie.
Did you love that? I thought. Well, that's definitely not Miyamoto. Did you mean? I didn't think that instantly.
I just thought. So it starts. This is Miyamoto.
They should have made it obvious that it was really legit by leaving in the put something like Miyamoto.
Yeah, or just holding up a handwritten message when someone does a Reddit AMA. It's him in today's newspaper. Yeah, I like that. This is Miyamoto. I want to see more of them.
I like the idea of them just giving him the account and then probably taking it back off him again.
Someone handed him a phone.
Yeah, there you go. Right, Summit.
Tweet now.
So I forgot when this was due out. So it was summer this year, was it?
It was supposed to be Christmas
Christmas.
2022.
Yeah, really late, yeah.
And now it's spring 2023. Apparently.
All right, fair enough, I suppose.
Yeah, we all want it to be an amazing movie.
Yeah.
I've no doubt it would be an amazing movie, and if it's, I'd rather it's delayed and it lived up to that.
So
and I don't want to see anything. If it's coming out spring next year, don't show us anything until like January. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see an image. I don't want to see anything. I want to forget this film's even coming out until like it ticks over January next year. Boom! Fuck it! Oh yeah, Mario! Come on! I can't wait for that. It's going to be so much fun. Like taking Harry and the boys and all that to the cinema to watch.
Yeah, I was just going to go nuts.
Harry and the boys. There's only another one.
Boy. Well, you're also a boy.
I am a boy.
Taking
I refer
yourself.
to myself in the third person like that. We're called Harry and the boys.
I'm still fascinated to know what Mario is going to sound like. Will Chris Pratt put on an accent of sorts?
Yeah.
Will it just be his voice?
So I like Capone Adams' theory where it's about how Mario has lost his voice and he needs to find it again. And Charles Martinet does his voice at the start and the end. And Chris Pratt does his voice for the rest of it.
Because Chris Pratt can't just do like a funny Italian accent, can he?
No, he's got to do an accent. He can't just do no accent and just be himself because it would be.
What
It
he's gonna do?
will
I thought
sound
he
wrong.
could just do his own voice. I mean,
Yeah.
Well,
It's an accent is surely more
was it
problematic.
the Super Mario Brothers Super Show where he's just full on Brooklyn accent? Maybe he just does that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. That was the one where they added the lyrics to the Mario theme tune.
Yes.
Move your hips from side to side. Come on, everybody. Let's do the Mario. Oh, yeah, that was great. The little live action bit at the start and at the end.
Oh God,
of it.
yeah.
Oh, it's bad.
It's on Netflix.
yeah,
Matt,
I
did
can't
you ever see
see
those
them
ones?
doing. What's that?
Did you ever see those ones? Those Mario?
Yeah, they were terrible. But
Pretty much.
we've seen
Really
them so
bad.
many times though because
Move your legs.
The one with the
It's so bad.
fucking Milli
I need to
Vanilli
find
concert
that.
where they clearly
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
get the
yeah.
rights.
That was a different series.
Oh,
though.
was
That
it?
was
Sorry,
when
I
he
thought it was
was.
the same one.
Yeah. It was because that was based around Super Mario 3.
Ah,
but
yeah.
the Milli Vanilli concert where they ripped the music out after Milli Vanilli were exposed
for being
as a
frauds.
scam.
Oh,
Yeah.
did not know the
Yeah,
full story.
that was mad.
Blimey.
Okay, yeah. All right, I'm just searching Mario TV show with lyrics. Let's see if that's enough to. Oh yeah, here we go. Ready for this, Matt? Oh my God, it's actually offensive. Listen.
Hey, paisanos, it's the Super Mario Brothers Super Show!
Here we go.
With the Mario Brothers and plumbing's a game. We're not like the others who get all the fame. If your sink is in trouble, you can call us on the double. We're faster than the others, you'll be brothers.
Right, okay, no, we're done with that. No, that was the intro, right? It's the ending when they start doing that. Move your hips. Go on.
That reminds me of being 12 years old. I remember watching that.
Does it really? Fucking hell, that far back. Go on.
Yeah. That's it. That's all the news for this week. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do what you've been playing, and let's start with the biggest release of the week. I would
Wheels
suggest. Not Hot Ones Unleashed. Switch Sports. We finally got it. We've been asking for this since the launch of the Switch. When we started this podcast, like we were talking about doing, when Switch Sports going to come out. You got to remember, we started this podcast shortly before the Switch was released, right?
Yeah.
Yep,
Like
2016.
the first few episodes, we're going, "Oh, what's the NX going to be like?" and then we all went to that. Do you remember getting tickets for that live
we went to
reveal thing?
Yeah.
That was funny. So yeah, Switch Sports is finally here. And how much have you been playing, Matt? We've all been playing, right?
I mean, I've been playing.
James, you played a lot.
Yeah, I've played a fair bit. I played one day basically, but a fair bit during the day.
24 hours, Jesus.
Sean?
I'm not a lot at all. Tried to play
Really?
a bit with Isaac, and he just wasn't getting it.
Oh, that's right. You were getting frustrated.
Yeah. Not like, if you're listening to this thinking, oh, who cares? Let him just play it. No, like he kept like nearly whacking me
he can't
or
play it.
like just
Yeah.
wandering towards me. So I was like nearly hitting him. And he was.
I counted Charlie today playing tennis. Yeah,
I literally.
Joe
do you know
had
what I had
already
to
warned
do?
me. You're getting a bit close to Charlie's head.
Yeah, do you know what I had
And
to
then
do
I
in
hit
the
him.
end?
Yeah.
So we've been finally repainting the living room after we got it all replastered and stuff last year. And I've got some new trunking for the heating pipes. I've still got one of them lying around, so I had to put that on the floor between us and be like, right, please do not cross this line. Right? So yeah, it wasn't it's like, oh, why is he not doing it properly? It was just like, this is actually dangerous. So it was just a bit of a stressful experience. I need to just go back and play it on my own.
Okay, so can I just start with my overall view, and then we can dig into it a little bit. The way I would summarize the game is it is better than what I feared it could be, but I think ultimately it is still very disappointing in a lot of ways. Like, there's a lot of it, like don't get me wrong, this weekend we have had an absolute blast playing it. Me, Harry, Charlie, we've had an absolute blast playing it. But it's one of those games that there's a lot of Nintendo games that you look at and go, my God, you have magic. You know exactly what you're doing and you're nailing it. You know what I mean? And Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, stuff like that, right? Kirby, I didn't get as far into it as you guys do, but, clearly you love that game. Then there are the games that you look at and you go, I don't even know what you're thinking around some of this stuff. Yeah. Because ultimately, playing these sports is fun, right? There's, some of them are better than others or whatever, but that's you forget that that's exactly what the Wii Sports was like. But there's some decisions that they make in this that I look at it and just go, this is actively, aggressively bad. Like, for example, and I think the main one is this. The main thing you get for playing the sports is experience points. When you get enough experience points, you get to do like a loot box type thing, right? You select a menu, you press the button, and it selects something random from that menu. And the more you play, the better you do at the sports, the more experience points you get, the more stuff that you unlock for your character. And it could be anything from different coloured equipment within the sports. It could be, hats or a mask or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
glasses,
you can unlock
all
stuff like that. Glasses, all that sort of stuff. But you can only do that when playing online. It doesn't let you do it when you're playing local multiplayer. Mm-hmm. So my kids...
Yeah, that's criminal for me.
They don't want to play online. So they're never going to unlock stuff for their character.
Well, just quickly. So yeah, I mean, the limited time I spent with it, I could not believe. So I played a bit with Isaac when we were having fun, and apart from like nearly hitting him, and then I said like, oh, like we can play online. Like, should we play against other people? And he's like, yeah, okay. Like Isaac has to have his own Nintendo Online account to just join as player too.
Is that so? Even if you're just a guest account or whatever.
Oh, is that a thing? I mean, I just chose. He has his own profile on the Switch, so I just chose.
I'm wondering whether that may not be the case if you're as a guest rather than as using a profile.
Why shouldn't he be able to just use his profile?
I know it doesn't make any sense. No, I'm just saying it's just.
Well, hold on, no, wait. Is it not that he's not linked to my Nintendo account?
Well, possibly, but why should he have to have one? He's 4 years old.
No, I totally agree with you, Sean. I'm not defending it. I'm just wondering.
Right, so it's not right. So he doesn't need this. He just needs an account.
But this is the usual thing. It's the usual Nintendo caveats. That come out. It's it's like you can do that, but it's.
So I've got something related to this, and you might be able to help me out because it might be something you're more familiar with. So I got this game digitally. Mm-hmm. I was playing on my account. Elodie has her own user account on the system, and she's also part of my Nintendo family. But when we were playing on my user account and we wanted to create her character, it said you can't create a character for this account.
So there's no need to call me that.
I did say that. And then Nintendo, who are you? But basically, but she could only create a guest character and you don't earn anything as a guest character. I'm like,
what? How strange.
It's just like, I read someone said, it's like, I think it's common with like digital downloads or something. Like, is this saying, have any of you experienced this before where...
I haven't.
No. I was like, why can't I create Elodie on my account as like just like another user in Switch Sports? It doesn't make sense.
See, that's weird because for me... like, it doesn't even let you select which profile you're loading the game into.
No, it doesn't.
So
it just loads the game, innit?
You just launch the game and then you select the profiles within the game, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Harry's got a profile, Charlie's got a profile. So they've got their own, and I like that stuff. Also, it really highlights how shit the old Mii's are. Like when you see them against the custom characters that you build in this. But
I thought they were awesome. The new ones.
But like, it's so limited. The creator, the character creator, is so limited. Like there's like 6 haircuts.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And you just think, oh, right. Oh, you unlock stuff. Brilliant. The more you play, the more you unlock, the more like different you can make your character. Brilliant. Oh, Charlie and Harry literally can't do that unless they play online against people and get their asses kicked constantly. Where's the fun in that? Like, and I suppose the argument is, well, you could just like blitz through it and just unlock everything. And so, like, who cares? It's not like you can buy them.
And also, this is going to go on for a long time as well, because it's pretty clear that the way they're doing it is it's like they're doing like a weekly thing or something where it's like
updates every week.
Yeah, there's like new ones to do. So like then you have pressure to be like, oh, okay, I've got to do this for unlock new stuff or whatever.
But James, that could be fun if they let people do it locally as well.
Yeah, sure.
Because then, like, as a family, you could go, oh, there's new stuff to try and unlock. Let's play a few rounds of tennis or whatever, and unlock stuff. But you can't do that. Like, that's madness, right?
Yeah, I just think that's such a shame.
Because I'm not really interested in playing this online unless it's like with you guys or whatever. Like, I'm not. It's not a competitive game to me. It's not. Do you know what I mean?
No, and one of the things I wanted to say about this game that I think feels it's not what I was expecting. It's just that this feels like much more of like a party game, as it were, than a sports game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Really, yeah.
And I know, and it's like the reason for that is that it obviously isn't as accurate at all.
No,
like,
it really
the game that I enjoy playing the most in general is tennis. I like playing tennis, and this does not feel anything like the tennis on the Wii version at all.
Oh, really? I was going to say that's the one sport that I think actually feels a little bit better.
I don't feel like I have the same level of control at all, like in this, on any of the games.
It's really just registering whether you swung or not, and then it's the timing of the swing that's important, isn't it?
That's right.
And
that's
it's not
how
about
it works,
it's not about like twisting it or anything like that, really. I mean, you can kind of, but it's not to the same degree at all. And that's why this feels much more like a party game than a sports game. It feels like they've bundled together a whole bunch of things where it's like, yeah, you can play this with your friends, you can play it online or whatever, but it doesn't feel like you could ever really get like better, if you know what I mean. It feels a bit random to me, like compared with with Wii Sports.
I mean, on the one hand, it was fun to like watch Isaac because he was just flailing randomly and getting away with it and having a really good time.
Yeah, same with Charlie.
Yeah, but then equally you're like, but then what's left for me? Like, where's the nuance?
Yeah. Why can't I crush him? And I mean, okay, we'll go through the sports independently in a bit. I do think. Are we thinking then that the Joy-Cons are just not as accurate as the Wiimotes?
I think they're probably I think they're about as accurate as the original Wiimotes.
I don't think they are.
Do you know what I mean?
If they are, then the game
that's
doesn't
what I'm
feel
saying.
as
Like,
good as the original Wiimotes.
Yeah.
For example, the bowling, right? And I know we've spoken about it. I think the bowling is way better than it was in 42 all-time classics.
I still don't think you can compare them, like, really.
No, exactly.
I don't think you can.
But I think bowling with the Wiimote felt way more natural. Like, you had way more control about how much spin was on it and all that sort of stuff. With here, it feels like you've really got to sort of just twist.
Yeah.
Whereas before, it just felt so like little just touches or...
This feels like it's spin or not spin, basically. And it's like...
Well, no, I've worked out a way... Yeah, no, it's like... So the way it feels is that, spin or not spin, and then it depends on how fast you're bowling. And I know, like, I know I've mentioned it in the chat, and you guys have, it sounds ridiculous moaning about it. But as I said, we read that review, and it said it plays exactly like, Wii bowling that you remember, except this time you don't let go of the button. And I was going, but that was a fundamental point of that. Like, that was such a huge thing because you also had to time the release of the fucking button, right? That was the whole fucking point. Yeah. And now we're not doing that. And look, to say that I'm not enjoying bowling is bullshit because I've been loving it. We've been having a really good time with it, right? But what I'm saying is that this is the difference between an all-time classic and something that we might play for a couple of months. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think it just doesn't quite hit those levels that Wii Sports did. And I think that's a disappointment because it's there for them. They could do that.
Yeah.
And again,
but
like
maybe it is about. Sorry, Sean. Go
I was
ahead.
just going to say, and it's like not releasing the button. Like, okay, as an adult, you get used to it. It's not the end of the world. I don't think it feels as good, but completely opposite to the tennis stuff, where I was saying, Isaac could just sort of flail and get away with it. The bowling kept fucking shouting at him for releasing the button all the time. He's done bowling. Like, he's 4 years old. He wasn't any good at it, but he's done it, and he gets, sort of broadly gets it. So he was naturally releasing the button as he was swinging forwards, and every time it's just like, nope, hold the button, start again.
Just leave it as an option, and just say, do you want this on or not?
Because the rumours, people are saying it's because they don't want them, releasing the
smash tellies.
Joy-Con and it's smashing the telly or whatever. But
that must be the only reason.
But haven't they got enough things in place to say, look, if you do that, you're an idiot? Because it's like it's constantly saying, put the strap on. Put the bloody strap on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A lot.
Make sure it's nice and tight. Like, is it nice and tight? Yeah. Right, can I just do, before we go through the sports, can I just do a couple of other, like, really weird things that wind me up? Yeah. Why, when you launch the game, does it say, no, use both Joy-Cons?
Oh, my God.
To get past this menu?
Yes.
And then after you do that, you're like, oh, for fuck's sake. After you do that, it's like you could just use one now if you want. It's like, well, why have you made me pick up the other one just now?
I already know I want to do fucking Chambara and with one sword. Just fucking...
I know. Why are you making me pick both of them up? Like, that's so bizarre. There was something else I can't really remember. It's weird, man. Like, okay, right.
I'm definitely with you on a disappointment thing. I mean, for me, the disappointment is just like, it's the ranking thing. You're saying, Sean, you don't want to play it online, but that's the only way to rank up.
Yeah.
If you just play locally, there is no progression. Even Wii Sports had a number that went up and down depending on the number of wins or how much you won and this and that. Yeah. This does nothing. You can play a game and it'll be like your first game every time. Like so you have to play online really if you want any kind of progression.
It keeps top scores, doesn't it? Like, for example, bowling, it remembers your top score.
Yeah, it remembers personal best, but it's not like, even on Wii Sports, there's like that graph where it's like, okay, you keep winning, or you're losing.
Yeah, no,
there's
you're
something
right,
to say, okay, I'm doing better, or yes, sure, it keeps top scores, but the only way to see that, or to rank up, or to get ranks, or to have any kind of progression is to play online. So I'm going to find, unless I'm playing with Melody in the lounge, I will be playing online because I want some form of progression.
Yeah.
I
think I've only played it online, which I found. I mean, the online for me has worked really well. Like, I've not had any problem getting games. It's been smooth. It's been all right.
Did you get pissed off when you found out that the first game you play is bots?
That's the thing. Like, because Asher did that, and he was like, "I'm the best," because he was like winning like all the games. I was like, "Yeah, you're playing against bots."
But it annoys me. Why doesn't the game just tell you that? Why has that become a thing?
Really odd.
Why doesn't it just go, okay, you're going to play a game against bots now?
But it tends to take a minute.
They try and hide it, don't they?
Yeah.
They try and hide it,
ridiculous.
And it's because, I mean, the reason obviously is because usually when you do the first game, you have to do the tutorial. You know that, and that's
exactly.
and that's why.
Why does it just say like, "Cool, can you just do the tutorial first?"
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than going through the rigmarole of finding player ... Like,
or it goes. Okay, you've done the tutorial. Let's have a quick game against bots to sort of get into the mood of it. That would have been fine. Yeah. But instead it goes, oh, look, there's a bit of lag between these players joining. Look. Oh, and now they've all got very generic names. And they're exactly all absolutely shocking at this game.
PUBG does it, Fortnite does it, and often it's because at the beginning they have to get into matchmaking somehow, so they'll see how you perform against bots and then put it as proper matchmaking. I'm sure if you didn't play Switch Sports for a while, you'd probably play against bots again, so they can work out where you are in terms of ability.
Yeah, but Matt, my point is just be open about it. just be open about it. Just tell the player. Yeah. Don't try and fucking dick the player off.
Weird.
Yeah, you always see like, oh look, I won my first game in Fortnite. It's like, yeah, but did you?
Yeah, no, it's embarrassing. I've seen people do that on roll mode. I'm really good at this. Look,
you see it on all the time, all the
first
games.
Game. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
It's just there's all these there's just a lot of things that just add a bit of friction to the whole experience of getting into a game and actually enjoying yourself. I think that's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, even if you want to add
final
people.
thing.
you know, like if you're playing already and you want to just like, because like Asher came in, he was like, "Oh, can I play as well?" And I'm like, "Okay,
give me a minute."
I've got to go back to the title screen.
I found that to be okay actually, because you don't have to go back to the title screen. You can just go to. But you're playing online only, right?
Yeah. And then yeah.
So when you're playing local multiplayer, that's way more simple. You can literally just go to change players, and then you can add players and all that sort of stuff. It's pretty straightforward. Which annoys me that it doesn't do all the rest of it. Also, this is after playing through. I think there's only one. I haven't played badminton yet. I've played everything else, but after playing through most of the sports, there's part of me that's going. I'm kind of angry this hasn't got everything in it from the previous ones.
Yeah, me too.
Like, have archery in it, have boxing in it, have all even the bloody the White Water Rapids one that was one, wasn't it?
Because I couldn't believe because I forget how much Isaac takes in now, right? How much he actually absorbs of what he's seeing and hearing. And I said to him, like, because he was going to school on Friday, and I was like, right, if you're good today, Daddy's going to get a new game for us to play over the weekend. And he was like, I already know what it is. I was like, what are you talking about? And yeah, because he'd seen adverts for it. And then when we loaded it up, he's like, oh, let's play golf. And I was like, fuck.
Oh, Charlie did that. Fuck, that's so weird.
Yeah. So is it
Charlie
in one of the
did
adverts or something? It must be.
It must be, yeah. He went, I want to play golf. And we were like, oh, that's like... You can't, mate. It's not out until like November.
I know to call him that.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, no. I look at that and I just go, actually, this has been a long time since one of these sports games comes out. Why didn't you look at this and add everything you've done before? Because there's literally no reason why you can't. Like in terms of content, 6 sports games for this package is not great. Like I would have rather have paid £40 rather than 30. Yeah. And had, things like archery in it and boxing and golf.
Boxing would have been nice to have that.
Well, maybe this is me being like positive about it, but I think they're like, oh, brilliant. Well, we basically got our first 12 to 18 months of extra content because we can add in golf, which is coming.
Matt,
we can add
in golf. That's it. I'm guaranteeing.
Yeah, there won't be anything else, will they? Come on.
You reckon they'll stop after one?
Probably.
Yeah.
That's so weird. I mean, this is harsh, but you could also say, town. Like, bowling, chambara, football, very different. And then you got tennis, badminton, and volleyball, which is all kind of stuff over in there. I mean, a bit more variety.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, okay. Having played a bit of tennis and then badminton, I was surprised that they did actually feel a bit different, just in terms of emotion.
Right. Yeah, they do feel really different.
Badminton's actually really good.
Yeah.
I really enjoy badminton.
Badminton's good. Okay, right. Can we just say as well, why have they done a leg strap thing for the most basic of mini games ever? Like the volume thing. 2 things about that mini game, right? This is the one where you get the leg strap, you put the Wiimote, not Wiimote, the fucking Joy-Con in your leg strap, and you volley the ball into the back of the net. Firstly, James, when you played that game mode, how many times did you say, I just love volleying?
I just love volleying.
Yeah, Joseph had no chance. Right, I say that every time. Secondly, get this, right? I don't know if this is bad, right? But this kind of pissed me off. Harry's left-footed, yeah? And so he has to put it on his left leg, and he selects left-footed. It doesn't matter what footage you are, the ball still comes from the same side of the pitch.
Yeah, that's annoying.
And also, like, it's set up for a left-footed striker, not a right-footed striker. So it makes no sense. It just, like, no one sat there and went, this is a cross for a left-footed player, not a right-footed player. So this don't really work. And also, if you select left or right-footed, it doesn't change.
Anyway.
What are we doing here?
So hang on. So
it's really weird.
So if you're right-footed, the character on the screen kicks. It's still kicking with its left foot. Is that what you're saying?
No. It's kicking with the right foot, but it goes across your body versus.
If you're a right-footed striker, you want crosses coming in from the left. Mm-hmm. The crosses all come in from the right on this. So really, what should happen is that if you're right-footed, crosses come in from the left. If you're left-footed, crosses should come in from the right. But they haven't even gone to the extent of doing any of that. Like there's no. and then it's 5 penalties, and it's like, okay, well, I'll take this strap off now and go and play something else.
I had fun. I've had fun playing that mode, but yeah, it's I don't know how much I'm going to play it moving forward.
Isn't there more coming for football? Like from what I remember,
I think you can play soon. You'll be able to play the full, 5-a-side game with the leg strap.
Right.
But right, let's go. Let's quickly go through the sports, shall we?
Well, I mean, we're on football, so let's start on football. I mean, I think the main football mode it is basically Rocket League, but it's really good fun.
Say that. Don't ever say
That's
that.
the thing. When I played it, I thought David is going to hate any comparisons to Rocket League.
Do you know what? If you were to say it's like the football mode in Fall Guys, I'd go, yeah, it is like the football mode in Fall Guys. It's exactly a full. But I've seen so many people. It's basically Rocket League. No, it's not. If you're telling people that it's like Rocket League, right, you're misselling what that game mode is, because it's not. It's not. It's the Fall Guys mini game. That's what that is.
I haven't played that, but it's Fall Guys minigame Rocket League, but on foot.
Not Rocket League, Matt. Just don't say Rocket League in it. It's got nothing. Rocket League is so complicated compared to this. This is and it's so slow when you're running towards the ball, especially when you're playing and the ball gets kicked the other side of the pitch, and I'm like, I've got to run the other side of the pitch now. Have you been enjoying the football, Matt?
Yeah, I've been. I mean, and when I say it's Rocket League, it's because it's it's from a low point of view. It's you bounce off the sides. There's a big ball. It feels incredibly Rocket Leaguey in all the bits, and minus the actual kind of minutia and the kind of like skill set that Rocket League requires. But on the face of it, all the other bits, it's basically they're like, okay, Rocket League's good. Let's just put these kind of characters in. That's literally that's exactly what they've done. They've been not just inspired, but let's just do it and put a character in instead of a car and see where we are with things.
I don't know if I could talk to you about that then.
No,
because if you're looking at that and saying this is just like Rocket League, that is insane.
Well, hang on. Obviously, you can see it's 99% Rocket League. It's inspired by it massively.
Oh, right, okay. I'm not talking to you about it, Matt. I'm not talking to you about it.
Are you denying like a big ball and like an enclosed football pitch, and even like the way that the ball goes in the net? It feels
the
like
way it sort of explodes. Yeah, it's like
exactly.
a bit like Rocket League.
Yeah. They've basically taken everything they could.
I'm not talking
and given it a different name.
I'm so angry at you. Don't even. Right. Okay.
In some instances, I think I've preferred this to Rocket League. I think it's really fun. I mean, I think the running is kind of annoying, but yeah, it's basically Rocket League for me.
You prefer this to Rocket League?
I think it's basically Rocket League, but on foot.
You're an idiot.
No. But how do you not see that?
Because it's not. It's like saying. I'm trying to think of a good example.
Dave,
it's
are you
like
saying it's not
Ryan's? It's like saying Ryan's Toy World or whatever. Ryan's Racing with Ryan is a lot like Forza Horizon, actually. Because you've got wheels and you're going around. So
there's a difference between saying there's one racing game to another.
Similar. No, I would say it's 99. I would say Racing with Ryan is 99% Forza Horizon, actually, Matt. I'd say that's about the same thing.
There's a difference between two racing games and then another one which is basically oversized ball and an enclosed pitch with the same celebrations. I mean, even the way the camera pulls back at the end is like, we'll just do a Rocket League.
A track with wheels, and they're going along on the track. It's basically the same.
If you don't see that this is basically Rocket League, I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. All right, it's basically Rocket League, Matt. Is that's what you're going to go? That's what you want to go for? If you
James,
love Rocket League,
Sean,
go and get this. It's basically the same thing. I'm going to smash something.
James, Sean, have you seen the game Rocket League, and how do you say this compares in terms of looks?
I mean, it's definitely
see the comparison.
It definitely has a big ball that gets kicked around.
In the enclosed arena.
Surely all the mechanics and the control systems of Rocket League are completely different.
I mean, yes, obviously it doesn't have the minutia and the flying, and obviously Rocket League's one of your time greatest games. I'm not saying it's up to that standard, but
it does have the boost.
You said you preferred this.
It does have the boost. It's like like in Rocket League when you're driving around, you can boost. When you can do the same thing.
I was actually fully expecting flying to be in at one point. They might as well have copied everything else.
Here's the thing, though, Sean. I'm all right with James making these comments because I'm fully aware that he's trying to wind me up, and that's fine. I'm comfortable with that. I know that Matt is legitimately talking like this, and that's what's winding me up. Matt, James, you can crack on, mate. It's fine. It's not. Matt is the one that's doing it here. Because I know that he believes it. I know that he believes this stuff. It's madness.
But I have enjoyed the games of football I played. I think the running is it's a bit annoying because like you don't have much stamina, and it's basically
I just found it really slow and a little bit boring more than anything else. Yeah, I just found it a bit boring. The penalty shootout stuff was fun. We've had like not the penalty. They're not penalty shootouts, are they? The what do they call them?
Yeah.
It's like pro shot or some shit. I don't know. That stuff's been fun. Like watching Charlie and Harry play that has just been like brilliant. Honestly, Charlie's done him twice, and Harry. I don't know about you guys, but we have had so many tears in this house.
Really,
like it's been crazy. But like Charlie's finally worked out that losing is a bad thing, so he has a meltdown if he loses at anything.
Yeah, Isaac's really shit at that stuff. He doesn't even get upset. He just insists that he won no matter what. It's really boring.
Harry storms off if he loses a bowling or whatever. He storms off and goes, "I'm the worst in the world," and just walks out. Right? And you're going, "No, you're not, mate. You're just not as good as your dad."
We've been playing online, and Ash is just being an arsehole. He keeps on.
What do you mean?
Well, when he wins, he just keeps on saying, "You've been beaten by a child," and stuff like that.
That's great. They can't hear it. I mean, does he? The worst thing would be to friend them and then send them a message in like in Animal Crossing or something.
You know, on the profile you can set like I don't know what it is. You know, like you have your username, but then you can also set like a
it's a combination of two words.
Yeah, it's a combination of two words, and you look at that list of words they've got there that you make these combinations, and I'm just thinking,
what's yours?
I can't remember. I keep changing it because it's rubbish.
So-called dad.
Mine is Forever Online.
Oh yeah, fair.
What was mine? It was
you look through that list.
Tough egg or something. I can't remember.
Tough egg.
Can you imagine how long they spent on that list to make sure that you couldn't make any dodgy combinations?
Yeah.
But like Asher purposefully took one and just was like saying he was a kid and everything because he's like, I want them to know that I'm a child and that I beat them.
I thought you were going to say he somehow managed to put motherfucker. Right. Okay. So that's football. Right. Bowling, I mean, we've kind of covered. It is pretty good. Like, I'm still really enjoying it. I don't think it's as good as the Wii Sports one, obviously. It's weird. It's like the Wii Sports one, the pins felt way more physics-based, whereas this one, sometimes it feels like, oh no, the ball's just sort of flown through these and some of them haven't moved. That's
I feel weird. Like it definitely doesn't have as much heft to it.
No,
and it's weird to describe.
Do you think
the smaller
the main controller the sort of leans into that?
Possibly, yeah.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, the Wiimote was
the lack
heavier,
of sensor bar, guys. Yeah. What do you reckon?
Just needs a candle. Have you played much of the other mode where you have like obstacles and stuff?
I haven't.
Oh no, I need to try that.
Sound quite fun.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, again, like there's like valley, like hills and valleys in the bowling lane.
Nice.
There's flippers you have to get past, that kind of stuff. Or there's like a bridge that moves. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, we played that today. It's quite fun. It's probably, I mean, it adds a little extra, spice to the game. But bowling is bowling, but it's not as good as I remember it being.
Chambara, is that?
Yeah, Chambara.
Yeah,
I've only played
do you know what gets me about this? I look at we played a few games of this, and I think I really like the mechanics and the ideas behind this. I like the idea of blocking, and that's really important. But you can still get through the block if you identify the shape that's in front of you or whatever. I just think it's far too quick paced and frantic to take that stuff in, to react to that stuff. Do you know what I mean?
And I've seen people
I'm really struggling identifying the blocks and reacting to it.
Like, it kind of just encourages you to just flail at the other person.
It does, doesn't it?
Like the whole, like you say, the whole point is you're supposed to be able to see the stance that someone is in, and then either block or attack them accordingly. But when you can just, with one flick of the wrist, just go, well, now the sword is over here, and now I'm hitting you. I don't know. I'm not sure it works. I mean, don't get me wrong. If it turns out it's way more nuanced than I think, and like videos start surfacing of like high level play, that'll be really cool. But I don't see it currently.
I think because it is too quick, isn't it? I think trying to react at that speed that someone could quickly flick the Joy-Con, I think, is almost impossible.
I think have you tried it with
I will say
tried it with the twin swords as well?
No, I haven't. No, we've not unlocked them yet.
Did not like it.
Oh, really?
Well, it's just you just kind of like. Well, I just wish I just had one, to be honest. The other one just feels a bit redundant. Like that's weird.
You haven't unlocked them. They're available from the beginning, aren't they? In local.
Yeah.
No.
You can take any of them.
Because we might because we only had two Joy-Cons connected, so we'll let you do it. Right? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. The thing that made me laugh about that, have you got through to sudden death on that game yet?
No.
Right, do you want me to spoil it?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so if you draw and then one of you wins and the other one wins, or whatever, if you get through the 3 rounds and there's no winner, it goes final round. You stand in front of each other, and like the space that you're on, the platform that you're on, is just like ultra small.
It's just one hit.
So it's literally like
that's
the
good.
first one that gets a hit in wins. Yeah, Charlie done me with that because I was like, I saw the stage fall down around me. So we were just on this tiny little platform, and I looked round at Harry and started laughing, saying, "Oh, you seen this?" And as I turned back, he hit me and knocked me off. Like Charlie hit me and knocked me off. He was running around the front room celebrating.
Nice.
Loved it. So yeah, I mean, I can't see me playing that online at all. To be honest with you, that must be a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, I think that'll probably be my least played sport. I think.
No, it's not my least played one. I mean, I've played it a fair bit online, and it's all right, but it is a lot of flailing, basically, which is, But then that made you
your
good for a
least played
stream.
one volleyball?
Yeah, I hate volleyball. Sorry.
Why?
I've not tried it.
Absolutely hate it. I tried it. I played the demo. What's called the tutorial for it. I played one game, and I thought I'm never going to play this again because I hate it.
It's definitely
just-
the most complex of the sports, I think.
Yeah,
I like the blocking.
Yeah, the
That's pretty
blocking's
cool.
all right, but it's
blocking's
just
great, yeah, great
it
fun.
doesn't feel, again, because of the controls, it doesn't feel precise enough to me. Like to be able for it to be enjoyable, and I just found it irritating.
It's hard getting the timing right. I'll give you
Yeah,
that. Like, it's weird.
It's hard to know if it's accuracy, but I think timing. I mean, even in the tutorial, they're like, "Okay, now do this for the spike, like too early, too late, too early." Yeah, I think I'm not sure. I don't know if I can say it's down to accuracy of the Wiimote on. Oh, sorry, the Joy-Con or not, but I just felt timing was quite tight. But it feels like the most complex. It feels like there's a lot to remember in each game. But yeah, I was actually quite impressed when I played that.
What have we? Are there any that we haven't really?
I mean, there's
I've not played
badminton
badminton
and tennis.
So,
Yeah.
what's badminton like? Tennis is tennis. We kind of discussed that. Badminton, I've not played. I'm interested to hear what makes it different from tennis.
Just the feel of hitting it. Tennis, it's kind of slower, more deliberate swings, whereas with badminton, you've really got to
Still flicks,
yeah,
innit?
like whack it.
Yeah.
Like
So you've got like, have you got to do it like over your head? Like
Yeah.
you would in badminton.
yeah, it's like overhead. Like there is some nuance there, isn't there, James? About like
Yeah,
because
You
the
can do drop
trail of it
shots.
like changes color and stuff, doesn't it? Depending on
yeah.
the shot type and stuff. So I haven't really fathomed that stuff out yet, but.
A lot of that's about timing,
Right.
And if you time it poorly, then you end up doing like it's like a kind of wobbly shot.
It's like
Right,
a
yeah.
shit lob, isn't it?
And then what? Then it's easier for the other person to do like a smash, like
Right.
if that happens.
Yeah.
But you can also do
Smash.
drop shots as well. Where you can like you hold down the like ZR button, and then it will do like a drop shot where the it just goes slightly over the net or whatever. So
okay.
that's where you try and get people to go far back and then try and do a drop shot, and they can't get to it in time, and it's you can do all that sort of stuff. So it's pretty good. I mean, I've enjoyed badminton and tennis the most because they're the ones that feel to me like there is some sort of strategy that kind of works with those.
Yeah. I think
And,
badminton's one I've enjoyed the most. And again, I didn't think that going in, but I love how the rallies can go on for a while sometimes, and even when you might do like a poor timing or poor time shot, and then they do like a smash shot, whatever it's called, you can still reply to that. And some of them have been really good when I feel like I've blown it a couple of times. That they've done a smash over the net. I can still hit it back, and it's gone on for quite a while, and it's really satisfying. So yeah, badminton's actually surprisingly probably my favourite sport I've played in this so far.
Yeah, badminton and tennis are the two that I've really enjoyed actually. Like when I play online, because you can choose up to 3 games to search for, and usually I go for like those 2 plus bowling are the only ones that I really want to play because the other does I don't think are that great.
So yeah, I think that's ultimately it. Is that you buy this, you've got people to play local multiplayer with. I think you're really going to enjoy. You're going to have some good times with it. I really do. I don't think it captures the magic of the original, and I think it's okay to be disappointed about that. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
especially considering some of the stuff there. You just think, actually, if you respected this series, if Nintendo respected this series for what it was, they could have done something so much better. You know, they could have introduced all this progression stuff within the local multiplayer as well, because they would have understood that a lot of people played that game local multiplayer because that's all you could when on the Wii, right? You know, that's what it was all about. And then saying, oh yeah, there's going to be people playing it with their kids. Let's give them something to work towards. Like, if, as you say, every week you could turn around to your kids and say, oh, there's new stuff in the shop or whatever. Let's play a few rounds and unlock it. You know, that stuff sounds great. You've got the fact that there's only these sports in them. You could have put others in there, you know? We could have been doing archery, which was great. I don't see why they couldn't have done that. Boxing, so forth. Like, it feels like a missed opportunity to create a love letter to that series, and they didn't quite do it, which probably sounds more negative than my experience of that I've had on that game this weekend, you know, because we've had a fucking blast playing it.
I really can't wait to play golf. I really missed it not having golf in from the start, because I love golf in Wii Sports.
When is that? When is golf
coming out?
Have to wait.
End of this year?
I haven't said.
End of the year.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, fuck.
Do you know, I just had a look about this unlocking stuff to see, you know, what the deal is with it, and it's this. So you're right. You can only do it if you do the play globally mode. But if you don't have Nintendo Switch Online, you can still play this mode, but you'll just be matched up against bots instead.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Yeah.
I might just. Oh right. Okay.
I'll cancel my sub.
I might just turn off the internet then. No, I might just turn off the internet on the Switch and let the kids play it.
Well, no, because it probably still requires you to sign in and to do it.
Wait, hold on. So, but if Harry's playing on his own and I'm not logged on and he hasn't got a Nintendo Switch Online account,
it will still work for him, yeah, but it'll just be against bots.
Oh, fine, okay. Well, at least he gets to unlock stuff.
It'd be quicker as well because it'd probably be easier than playing against.
You'd be winning all of them.
Yeah.
How weird.
Oh, interesting.
All right.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll look into that. Why are we finding out about this now? We bought the game
because it's
4 days ago.
Caveats. It's always like this.
Man, it's okay.
It says golf is coming in autumn, so maybe it's not quite.
Okay.
Maybe it's a little bit earlier than I may have anticipated.
We'll see.
But I mean,
2023.
I mean, I think I've probably sounded really negative about this whole thing, but it's like I have enjoyed what I've played. It's just, as I said, it feels more like a party game than a sports game to me, and that is a bit disappointing.
Isn't there also something about you can't play it? You can't play it on a Switch Lite.
No,
and you can't play it in tabletop mode or something.
Yeah, which doesn't.
I mean,
is that so? Does it have to be docked?
I read a news.
Yeah, I read something today about it. You haven't been docked. Obviously, it just doesn't give you other options.
I can sort of see that because it's not going to be a good experience, but then I don't know, like forcing you to not be able to even try it seems weird. Like at least just come up with a thing saying like, oh, you know, we really don't recommend playing it like this, but if you really want to knock yourself out, rather than just no. Weird.
You can play it in tabletop mode, but only in single player. You can't play
it.
That's
what I'm reading here. Yeah, so you can't play it with more than. Yeah, that's so weird. What the fuck? It's so fucking. You can play it if the portable mode. You can play, but only in single player. So you can't take it out and say. I guess it's too much information for the thing. With that, it needs the power to pick up.
So you can still play this on a Switch Lite as well. Like. As long as you're just playing it in single player with 2 Joy-Cons attached.
Christ. So bizarre, man. Right, okay.
I am looking forward to seeing how this works online with, like, us. I reckon this could be a funny stream or something, but I haven't.
I'll get the Elgato out, fucking hell.
Yeah, go on, get that Elgato out.
Did you try it, James, the other day? You set up a room or something, didn't you?
I set up a room, yeah, but nobody wanted to join me. So
I did, but I was with Isaac, and then I sort of 5 minutes late to seeing the message, and then the room had gone.
Yeah, I went to see Millwall play football. not going to get home so I can play fucking Chambara with James Farley.
We were going to play it on Sunday, but I just couldn't be bothered, so it didn't happen.
Okay. Okay, that's enough Switch sports. I'm sure we'll mention that again at some point. Matt, do you want to finish your list off?
I'm not so sure we will.
When the golf comes out next year.
Yeah, when the golf comes out.
Was it me, sorry?
Yes.
I only just a short thing to say. I finished Norco, and
nice.
I think it's definitely one of the best games I've played this year.
Cool.
Story-wise, I think it kind of lost me a tiny bit towards the end because it gets really, really complex, or at least I felt it did. I didn't quite kind of nail or tie everything together as neat or as well as I may have hoped, but I was still really impressed, and yeah, I think it's an excellent game that everyone should give a go.
Yeah, I will.
Cool.
Is there likely to be a console release of this? Is it going to happen, or is it really just only going to be
I don't
PC
think
and
they've
Mac?
said anything, have they?
They haven't said. I mean, like I said last week, when someone said this has come out on iPad and whatnot, they said we can't announce anything at the moment. I mean, it would seem like it'd be fine on everything. So here's hoping they do, but nothing announced as of yet.
Because I know it's like, obviously it's, it's point and click, but like I've seen people saying like I played the whole thing with like a touchpad, so it's not like
so
it would map to a controller. All right, I assume. Like it's not. Yeah,
you could absolutely easily do that.
Yeah,
I mean, cool. It's won awards. It's won like a Tribeca award. I'm not sure it was a film festival or something else, and it may have won something else. I'm sure there's a couple it's won. So it's clearly highly regarded, and hopefully it's enough to push out on other platforms. But that's it. That's it for me. Just that and Switch Sports.
Sean?
I have been playing Hot Wheels Unleashed again because they released the Monster Trucks DLC. As you may remember, I fucking love this game. I think it's one of the best arcade races we've had in years. I also love Monster Trucks. The Monster Trucks DLC is really shit.
Oh no!
It's literally because they like the teaser trailer for it and stuff was like, oh, it's like a whole like new environment and stuff, and I was like, yes, get in, because because like last year I played a couple of Monster Truck games and actually ended up really enjoying them.
The
whole thing, like, cause I didn't even know this was a thing, but like with a Monster Truck you have independent like steering for the front and rear wheels, and it was really interesting seeing how different games implement that, and I was like, oh man, this DLC is gonna feel so different to the main game. Maybe I expected too much. But it's literally the same, but you're just in a bigger vehicle, and like it's like not as fast, but it can ignore like certain obstacles on the track, and that's about it.
Shit.
Like the new environment is like, it's a cool idea. It's like the set for like a stop motion animation thing, and it's like, oh yeah,
that's a wicked idea.
Yeah,
that's a class
that's
idea.
A really good idea. But it's just like, oh yeah, this is just more of the same. I kind of expected this to be a bit of a departure. As I say, maybe that was unfair of me. But it just, I was really disappointed. So I've uninstalled it again. Never mind.
Oh mate,
yeah,
that sucks.
It's a nice excuse to go back, but yeah, just the Monster Truck stuff. Oh yeah, and it's still like, so it's always been a bit of a sore point that like unlocking new vehicles is mostly completely random. And there's like a limited selection that you can purchase directly, but then that only rotates like every it's like 4 in-game hours, something stupid like that. But there's no way of like, I don't mind the random stuff, but at least let me like have a random selection from a pool of the new vehicles. Like, so I'm still earning coins and I'm unlocking random ones. And it's like, I might get a monster truck, or I'll probably just get like a really basic one that I've already got 3 different ones of. So I'm just going to scrap it for more cash. It's just not really thought through very well on that front, unfortunately. So yeah, bit of a shame, but hey ho.
What a shame. And that's it.
That is
this week, is it?
That is it.
I've got a coded chat to have with you. I don't know if I told you, but Spirit Horse is down.
Oh yes, you did tell me.
You
did tell me. Sorry, I forgot to reply.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, man.
But also, quick question: does it change things down there?
I don't.
It felt like it should have changed things down there.
No,
So
I don't
this
think
is
it does.
Elden Ring,
It's
is it? Yeah.
Yeah, but coded Elden Ring so people don't get angry at me for, spoilers
no, I
or
don't
whatever.
think it does change anything. I think it is just a completely optional. But I don't think you even get much for defeating it, do you?
Like 13,000, I think.
Yeah.
I got one level up for that, so
There
I was
you go.
alright with that.
There you go. There is,
But,
there is another one. I don't know if doing both maybe does something. Who knows?
Is it like is the other one in that area, or have I got to go through there's a sort of back passage bit?
There's another way in.
You got to fight the ants.
I can't remember. Possibly. I don't want to say anything.
Right,
I'm worried about what I'm going to spoil by accident if I say anything.
Right,
So
okay.
I mean, I have also been playing loads of Elden Ring still. I
see you on it every night. It's really funny.
Yeah.
It's you lot guys.
Mate, I had the fucking night of my life on it the other night. I just did 2 bosses first time.
Nice.
Including one notoriously difficult one.
Oh right, really? Yeah, no, because I took the Spirit Horse down first time, but I heard that's quite an easy one anyway. But yeah, and I mean, just everything about that fight was just incredible.
Just beautiful,
Just really good.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it didn't have a second phase as well, because I'm starting to get a bit sick of that.
It's always exactly halfway down the health bar. It's like, right, what's he going to do now? Oh, he's gone electric.
Here we go.
Yeah.
It's 8 times bigger now, and he breathes fire. Brilliant.
It's a weird game because I'm still, I'm still seeing things. There's new things I want to say about it every week, but it's like let's just save it for the fucking end of the year at this point.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I'm also in this horrible fucking cycle again. I've found myself in where I sit down and I turn on my Xbox in the evenings. So I've been at work all day, put the kids to bed, dinner, washing up, whatever. Finally get to sit down, put the Xbox on, say, okay, I'll play some Cyberpunk. Right, okay, I need to get back into that game. And then I'll get a text, David, there's a Rocket League tournament. And I'm like, of course I'm going to do that. Do you know what I mean? And by the time that's done, it's like, oh, God, I've got to bed now. It's terrible. I'm in a terrible mood with that stuff.
I'm struggling to get into anything at the moment. I don't know why, because I started Cyberpunk, and I was kind of like, I'm kind of enjoying this, but then I also feel kind of overwhelmed by it as well, and I just feel kind of like I want to play it, but it's also just hassle. Do you know what I mean?
I've taken a stance now where, because especially with Cyberpunk, it tries to bombard you with stuff at the start. I just kind of think, I'm going to play this for a good few hours and then try and work out all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How to upgrade and how to do this and what I should be doing. I'm not going to worry about it while it's chucked. Because too many games now, it's like this and this and this and this. It's like the mechanic of... have you done the stuff where you go into the memories yet, James?
No, I've not got that far.
Well, that bit has its own sort of bunch of stuff that you're supposed to remember.
Yeah.
I assume you do that quite a bit throughout the game. But it's like... Not that much. But it is during that bit, it's like, right, now switch to vision and now sound. Now go scroll back to sound and vision. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know how to upgrade my character yet. Chill out.
I know what you mean. But no, I'm the same, James. The idea of picking up anything new is weirdly daunting at the moment. Even just look, looking at the Game Pass app, and it's like, oh, Turnip Boy commits tax evasion. That sounds funny. I'll download that. And that's definitely going to be a short, probably quite simple game. And I'm just like, just put Elden Ring on. And it's weird. That's not normally me. No. I mean, it all changed next week because Citizen Sleeper is coming out, and I'm hyped as fuck for it. I say next week. Sorry, this is this Thursday. It's coming out. So by the time you hear this, it'll be tomorrow. I cannot wait for that. But yeah, anything else? I don't know. Just the idea of starting anything else, I'm just like, we'll see.
I'm kind of similar, but it's about going back to Elden Ring. I mean, I was loving it for the 20 plus hours I played it, and then broke off to do Kirby and other stuff. And I need to go back, but I don't know.
How far into are you?
I mean, I've only killed that first boss, and I played 20 or 30 hours, and I was loving it, absolutely loving it. But I thought, okay, I'll stop did Kirby,
It's
did Norco.
intimidating, isn't it?
It is
Yeah,
intimidating.
I was going back to it, even though I know I was loving it, but it's just
Like
you
it
know,
definitely,
it's a big old game.
It definitely only improves. I don't know, maybe there's a couple of bits I didn't really like, but that's more just because they were creepy or spooky or whatever, not necessarily because they were bad. Broadly speaking, I've only become more and more impressed with it as it's gone on.
Yeah, so I just need to. It sounds bad to force myself, but just to play it for an hour or two, and I'm sure I'll fall right back into it. But
Yeah. And you know, like we've said, like by all means, like get that Vati video up where it's like, here's how to get overpowered in the first 3 hours or whatever, and just like tick a few of them off and just give yourself a bit of a leg
I
up.
think I have done a bunch of them.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
that's why I was loving it actually.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. I keep meaning to go back to that as well, but I feel kind of overwhelmed by it as well because I just think, that's going to be.
I totally get it because I wasn't even going to buy it. Well, I didn't in the end. Thank you, listener. Yeah, it's got me. I was the most or the least bothered about it. Yeah.
But it's especially when you see people saying it's like 110 hours and stuff like that. And it's like,
well, yeah,
I've got
this is it.
110 hours.
It's because
Yes, you have.
Actually, yeah, it's true.
What are you talking about?
I played Pokemon for 60 hours, which is insane.
Yeah, exactly. You've got the time. It's not a lie. All I'll say is this: is that I must have put. I think I'm up to like 35 hours in it or something. I'll have to check my save. I can't remember what it is now. Right. It does not feel like 35 hours. If you'd have told me that I've played it for 15, then I'd believe you because the time just goes so quickly when playing that game.
Yeah.
It really doesn't feel that length, at any point that I've been playing.
So I think I've broken 80 hours now at least. And yeah, it just doesn't stop showing you cool new things. It's phenomenal.
Right, okay. I mean, the short session that I played of it this week, I was like, I've done a boss and I've really enjoyed my time with it and I should just play this for the end of time now. But also, Rocket League tournament is about to start, so better jump off that.
I have had to implement a new rule with Elden Ring, is that when I die after midnight, I have to turn the game off.
Oh, good shout.
Because otherwise you get into that, no, I think I can just get back there and then I can just need to beat this one enemy and then it'll be fine.
Yeah, that's the equivalent to our Rocket League play till we lose.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
play till we lose now.
Yeah.
We lose, we're done. Which I've always argued that's the wrong thing to do because you go to bed angry. Every time. Oh, for fuck's sake. All right, see you later. Goodbye. it's just... right, okay. Should we get on to questions?
If you want to send us a question, go to tcgs.co/dear TCGS using Netscape.
Although not for next week. Next week we're going to get them out of the chat.
In fact, because someone did actually, I can't remember if I put it in the doc or not, but someone did say, Sean's friend Colin Ross Wilson said next week you're doing a live stream to celebrate an amazing achievement. Well done. Would you still like people to submit questions here or on Twitch for the section? So do it on Twitch.
Do it on Twitch. We're going to ask people on Twitch any questions and do it that way.
Yeah, cool. Rector Reese says, evening gents. First of all, I feel it's my duty to insist you use some of my Patreon money towards slippers because all four of you have horrendous slippers. I'd like to recommend.
What? Oh, piss off! I hate people. I hate people. You can't do anything on the internet without them. You got that? Oh, it's like all right. I don't care about slippers that much.
Well, yeah, because by definition they're. It's like people who spend like 80 quid on jogging bottoms. It's like, look, a bit of luxury, fine, but I don't know. It says, I'd like to recommend the UGG Ascot. Bit pricey, but if you can't think of anything else for the wife to get you for birthday or Christmas, they're incredible and feel a bit like shoes if that's what you're into, Sean. It is. Anyway, to my question, I've often envied the select how many hours to sleep for / press X to do 200 press-ups / click on healthy food, get healthy mechanics in video games and wish those actions were that easy in real life. If you could assign a single action to a button press and essentially go into autopilot while it instantly happens in real life, what would it be and where would you hide the button?
Work.
Yeah,
just
get on with it.
Turning up at work. I mean, yes, I've been watching Severance. Turning up at work and just pressing a button and then just walking out again. Yes, please. Thank you.
I mean, that's
James Farley. I'm really interested to hear your answer.
I mean, it definitely would be the exercise thing. Like, absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
if I could
would be quite good, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
if I
like,
could
suddenly
just-
you're buff.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. I mean, that's one of my, like, it's a dream, isn't it? You know, that it just happens and you haven't got to do any of the effort. Fantastic.
Yeah, maybe that's the one. Although, to be fair, I've been doing exercise recently because I've mentioned before, I've got a couple of things coming up, and I don't know, I feel good. Like, just so I was taking Harry down the park and we're just playing football, and like we were playing for nearly 2 hours today, and I was shattered by the end of it. But god damn, it felt so good just to kick a ball about again. So you'd miss that.
I don't know. You see, at the moment, I'm not at that level. Like, what I mean by that is that before, before I used to get that, but at the moment, I feel so unhealthy that just doing exercise makes me feel horrible at the moment again, and I need to like lose more weight before I can get to the stage where it feels pleasurable again.
Yeah.
But that's the problem. It's
you know, because like I still carry Isaac around on my shoulders quite a lot, and that's a pretty good exercise. Like, because you know, on a given day out, I can be out. Like, you can be on my shoulders for like over an hour, 2 hours, whatever.
Wow.
Which you know, feel pretty good about being able to do that. But fucking hell, he's getting big. Like, and not even. It's not even about the weight. It's just getting him over my head to get him on my shoulders in the first place.
Yeah, that bit sucks.
Because he sometimes thinks it's funny to like not open his legs, so I just fucking bash myself in the face. So fuck's sake. Like, I know you think this is funny, but that really fucking hurts. Now you've aged my neck another week.
It's so dangerous for him.
Yeah.
Like, a fall from your height is not going to do him any good, is it?
Exactly. So yeah, and you know, and like, it used to be funny if he'd like try and sort of turn my head where he wanted to go, and now it's like, ow, fucking hell, ow. Like, it's really bad. So I'm like, I've had to say to him, like, look, we've got to, like, we can't do this as much as we used to, Isaac. Like, you've got to start actually walking around more. But, you know, he's always full of energy. Like, it's not even that he's, like, he claims he's tired. He's fucking not.
Oh, don't get me fucking started. Like, Harry is 8 years old, right? And I can sit and watch him play football for 3 hours straight, and he wouldn't bat an eyelid. You ask him to walk down the road, and it is the most horrendous idea for him. We're going to walk to the high street. Oh, can we not just drive? We live 5-minute walk from the high street. Yeah. We're walking to the... Oh, for Dad, but then we've got to walk back. It's like, Harry, you... Yeah, don't get me started. Yeah. Does my nut in, that does. Yeah.
I suppose the freaky thing about having just pressing a button to do a load of exercise is that you'd still feel horrendous afterwards, but it's just like your body's just being forced to go through the motions as you just feel.
That's true.
Like, it'd be funny as well. Yeah, you'd be like, "What the hell has happened?"
Yeah, like throwing
all
up
of a sudden, everything hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything would hurt, but you also have a sudden massive rush of endorphins. So
see, I've never felt that. I've genuinely never felt that.
I've never felt that either, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, like, the whole, like, prep of getting ready for a run and doing a run, you're like, oh, why am I doing this? This is horrendous. But then it's worth it for that feeling you have afterwards, and that's basically why I'm doing it.
I just think, fuck, that's over. It's
when I went for a run last week, the first run in Asia, I thought I was going to die.
I would almost... Oh, would that be better? I think it might be if I could press a button to just do all the prep, and then I'm stood outside the house with all my running gear on. And then it's like, well, you're not going to walk back in the house now, are you, you prick? Fucking go for a run. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good, yeah. Yeah, because that's the worst bit. Like, that takes ages. I'm gearing myself up to do it, but...
Can you just, like, run in just, like, a normal pair of trainers, shorts and a T-shirt? Because it seems like everyone that runs now has to get this specialist gear. When did that happen?
I wonder if it's a bit of, like, oh, well, I've bought the stuff now, so I've got to do it. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm just running, vest and a T-shirt, and I have, like, my bum bag for my phone.
Yeah. I think, like, if you're doing it a lot, like, a good pair of shoes is a good idea.
Well, why do you take your phone? Why'd you take your phone with you, Matt?
To track my run.
Yeah, man. Strava, innit?
You got an Apple Watch.
Yeah, but and also listen to music. Sorry, and podcasts.
Yeah. Again, you got an Apple Watch. I
think you can do that independently, can't it? Because Android.
Yeah, I only just.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
I was just going to say Android watches are useless without the phone in range, basically. Whereas the Apple Watch is like its own device, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I've just worked this out, right? So I went for a run for the first time in like 5 years. I'm not even joking. And then what made me do it is that I could just put my AirPods in and they connect to my watch. And, but who's got music to put on your Apple Watch? No, you just go to Spotify app and it says, do you want to send this album to your watch? So I've got loads of albums on my watch now. I don't.
That is cool.
Matt, it's a revelation.
I've just never
mate.
bothered doing it. I've just, I don't know, have it on. I use Map My. I think Map My Run is. No, he's whatever. I never bothered doing it. Maybe I should look into it.
Yeah, no, you just do it all on your watch now. It blew my
I
mind
should look into that.
I guess. But yeah, no, the button thing. I think it has to be work. I think that's got to be the one, isn't it?
And for me, it would probably be the kind of classic RPG thing, like getting to bed and you sleep, and then you have full energy.
Wake up feeling rested.
Yeah, you wake up feeling rested, wake up feeling good. You've got rid of all your ailments. I'll probably just do that one. And I know that's a basic thing, but just
but what? Press button to sleep.
Yes. So and then
I like the feeling of going to sleep though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's if you're struggling with sleep.
What do you mean? James just went. I don't.
No, I don't because of the sleep apnea stuff and having to wear one that thing. That completely destroys any nice feeling of going to sleep. It's horrible.
Yes, and it's no longer an enjoyable process of going to sleep.
No, it's a struggle every night to actually go to sleep. So it's
oh man, I'm like ASMR videos on, slowly feel that it's just fading. I love it.
See, I love have no trouble falling asleep, but that's because I've developed the unhealthy habit of just staying up too late. I think I mentioned this before, but
yeah, no, that's no good.
No, it's not. But to me, it feels like it's either that or just lie around, not being able to sleep for a bit. May as well use the time productively. But yeah, not a healthy
We're
habit.
a computer game podcast. This is mad.
And as to where the button would be stored, it'd be under the armpit for me.
Under the armpit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So you could just go waggle your arm and it's just activated.
Yeah, and I'm suddenly asleep at home, or I wake up. I don't know.
Commute into work, skipping that as a cutscene, as if it was a cutscene. Commuting
Again,
to
I
work.
wouldn't want to do
I
that.
like that. I like the getting to work.
I hate commuting to work.
It's the time.
But you drive.
No,
you guys drive, right?
No, I take the train.
Oh,
Yeah, but trains
I
are
enjoy
good in
either.
Europe, Dave. Not like in the UK.
Apparently not.
Oh, they show.
Well, James seems to think that the whole efficiency in Germany is
The
Is it
efficiency
BS?
is a bit overblown,
myth.
Is
but
it?
they are cheap, and it's
there you go.
it's and clean, which is nice. It's
No piss on the
alright,
trains.
okay.
You joking?
Let's move on to the next one.
XB Dean says, "Hey TCGS cool kids, it's been a while since I wrote in with some questions. I'm holding the juicy ones back for Farley at the live show. I wanted to give a quick shout out to the TCGS editors. As someone who has dreamt of starting up my own pod for a number of years now, I'm always daunted by the thought of the man-hours required to actually re-listen to a whole episode, to then get it trimmed, and to ensure the initial artistic vision gets properly put across for every single episode, let alone then finding the time to do this every week. The thought of editing alone puts me off ever actually wanting to kit things off with my own pod ideas, whether it be history, war, or political based. With that in mind, I'd love it if you guys would let the listeners behind the curtain and be willing to kindly discuss the following." I mean, so he's asked a bunch of questions. I'll read.
Do you want me to take this?
Yeah, please do. James.
I'll read them all out first, and then we'll do them one by one. So he says,
Okay.
what percentage of the actual recordings typically make it into the weekly end product? How much effort is it to take an episode through the chopping room every week? And does the editor ever see it as being a chore? What quick tips would you offer to improve the editing experience for other or new pod creators? What conversations go on in the background to ensure the pod remains fresh, ever-growing, and more importantly, enjoyable for the hosts? And once TCGS truly blows up and takes the entire video game world by storm, would TCGS ever
He already
consider...
has.
Would ever consider bringing in third parties to lead on the editing front, or do you see it as essential to keep the process in-house? So, what
great
percentage?
questions.
Yeah, what percentage of the show makes it? The recording makes it into the weekly end product. I mean, basically all of it most of the time.
100.
Right?
Yeah, we've had to make a couple of edits today,
Yeah.
but
you'll
they
never
are
know.
5 seconds worth of recordings that need chopping out. And because we do say so and then go, we have to edit that, Matt.
Yeah.
And that size and writes down a number, understandably so, because no one wants to do anything. But yeah, it's pretty much all of it, right, Matt?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'd say 99%. So, and most weeks, there isn't actually an awful lot of editing. I might just be shortening some bits here and there, but I listen to every second just because I didn't used to. At one point, I didn't have to, but now I do. So it just is what it is.
The worst thing about the editing, right, is not so much, we need to chop this out, we need to get this right, and it's the fact that sometimes, because we're all recording locally, someone goes out of sync a bit.
Yeah, that's the worst.
I don't know if it's processing the recording or whatever, writing it to the hard drive, or the SSD or whatever. It's the speeds change somewhat, and then suddenly someone goes a bit out of sync. So yeah, when I'm editing, that's the biggest pain in the arse, because you're like, oh god, now you've got to go through it and make sure that you're shifting that over slightly.
Yeah. Because it's never enough to just do it once. It's like you've then got to keep scanning through it. Like, okay, now it's noticeable again. Nudge it again.
yeah, totally.
So the next one was, how much effort is it to take an episode through the chopping room every week? And does the editor ever see it as being a chore? I mean, I don't do it as much as Matt.
Matt does it the most at this point.
Yeah.
So,
go on.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's a chore. If I know there's been like loads of edits or something like that, and I'm like, okay, this could be a bad one. But most of the time it isn't a chore, and I've always loved editing. It's fun. But if we do say like a 4-hour show, and the moment I get everyone's files and put it into the and put it into Audacity to edit, and I skip to the end, and if everything's totally out of sync, I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be a bad one. And that's like before doing any editing, and then I kind of start the process properly.
God, the worst one that I've ever done was where someone's audio had gone. I can't remember whose. Someone's audio had gone, so I had to use 3 of our local files and then the backup file.
Oh, yeah, that is.
And then I was like chopping out people from the backup. The backup file is a recording that records the phone, like the call on Discord. So it's got all of our audio on it. And then I had to use that plus 3 local files so that it didn't sound total crap. And it took me about 5-6 hours to do. That was awful, that one. That was awful. I hated it.
Have I ever told you? Yeah, so the practice of everyone doing a local recording so that it isn't subject to connectivity issues or whatever. Do you know what that's officially called in broadcast terms?
Go on.
A double ender.
Oh, right. I thought you were going to say a TCGS. We got the idea from them. Because if you remember, right, so the first time we did that, right, the first time I ever did this technique was with Michael on Joypod.
Yeah.
Back in, this would be 2007. So I'd moved back down to London, or, Sutton. Not really London, but, and we were saying, well, how are we going to podcast? And I phoned him on a landline, and we recorded locally, and I spoke to him on a landline, and then he emailed over his side, and we edited it together. That's madness now to figure that.
That is insane.
I actually called him up. That's so weird. I had a phone to my ear. That's crazy. Good times.
What quick tips would you offer to improve the editing experience for other or new pod creators? I mean, me and Matt edit
I'm not
slightly.
one to answer it at all, because I need that. I'm using the same technique since 2007 or 8, whatever. It's the same technique. I need to use macro. I need to change everything up, because even when we had some problems a few weeks ago, and you said, Sean, you use this, I'll do that. I'm like, I've never done that stuff. I should do, because I bet I can make this whole process way easier, way quicker, probably sound better.
Is that the noise removal levelator? Is it that one that you use?
Yeah, that's the same technique I used to use.
Yeah. Whereas I use Reaper, which is a very good and cheap digital audio workstation. I think it's like, how much is it? It's like 30-40 quid for a personal license, or personal or small or micro business, something like that. But it's really powerful. So basically I have just like a TCGS edit document. So whenever I'm editing, I just chuck in. So I have like a channel like for the music, and then a channel for each of us. And then, I mean, generally, audio characteristics don't change week to week, unless someone's like moved the microphone or I don't know, recorded at a different volume or something. But basically, they're always the same. So for each channel, you've got like noise gates, EQ, and then like compression for each person. So So that's all just kind of set up automatically, and then it's just a case of, so just chuck it all in and then just hit play and listen to it for any sort of weirdness. Like people, like I don't think we've said, like one thing we suffer with Discord a lot is us talking over each other because we genuinely don't know we're doing it. It's like it mutes other people sometimes, or like we're just a bit out of sync or whatever. So yeah, it's not that we're being rude or disrespectful. It's like we honestly don't even know it's happening until it's too late.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. The craziness is when, like, sometimes someone will drop a joke and you listen to it and go, "Oh, that's really fucking cringe," because no one reacted to it. And then you listen back to like all the recordings put together and like everyone's laughing.
Oh yeah.
You just think,
or literally no one could hear it because someone was
for that for a bit.
Yeah. So sometimes, like, as you're listening through. Like, sometimes it's funny to leave a joke like that, isn't it? Like, something just gets muttered, and like, you can guarantee we'll get a bit of feedback saying, like, just so you know, James, I've heard that and it's hilarious, or whatever. So it's kind of tempting to leave that stuff alone, but then sometimes you might want to nudge things around to make certain comments a bit more obvious. But then once you get into that level, it's like everything automatically takes twice as long, doesn't it? Whereas if you...
Do you know what I'd say? If you're looking for advice to make it easier, don't worry about ums, ers, and silences.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you something, this isn't radio, and it's not supposed to be. We're not... podcasting is free-form conversation. It's not radio. So you don't need to worry about how fluid things are, how professional it sounds to some extent. I've listened to podcasts where it's been single mic on a table. You know? It's more about free-form conversation. So if you're sitting going through your podcast, editing out ums, ers, and little bits of silences, I think you're probably trying to make it sound like something it's not. Now, not all. Some podcasts are more like that. So, for example, written reports and stuff. You know, you listen to Criminal, it would be weird if the presenter was going, and then they went to, that would be bad, right? But then Criminal would work on the radio. It's got more of a radio sounding, it's more of a radio sounding production. Whereas, like, something like this, which is free-form conversation, I think it's okay to let that stuff breathe a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
It's got to, really.
And because Matt, how much do you still take out, like, background noises and stuff? Because I try not to let myself get into that unless they're really obvious. I don't know.
I mean, I do a fair bit of editing if there's like kind of like audio leaking from headphones or whatever, but most of that is actually already covered in each of our individual processes.
Yeah, noise
and
and stuff.
I do like a background noise removal, and that takes care of most of it. In all honesty.
Yeah. What's next? Oh, so what conversations go on in the background to ensure the pod remains fresh, ever growing, and more importantly, enjoyable for the hosts? That's an interesting one. Like, probably not that many conversations, right?
No, I kind of feel that the format that we've got at the moment works, and we've all, none of us are finding it stale. I assume no one's complained about it anyway.
I mean, obviously, like we were talking about E3 earlier, for example. There are going to be conversations about how that plays out this year.
Oh yeah,
maybe Game of the Year stuff, but then we haven't really changed that for a while, have we?
No.
But it's always really exciting to talk about all that stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
And like, how we're going to modify it slightly, or does it still work and all that? And yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah, we've never had, like I was saying, we've got to have meetings soon, right? Because we've got the live show coming up. And I just thought we've never had a meeting. Like, we've never had a proper sit down with the four of us and go, right, what are we going to do about the show?
Well, because we always have each other on WhatsApp.
Talk about it in WhatsApp.
Yeah. So like,
That's
so obviously having a meeting.
Usually like,
go on, James. Sorry.
Yeah, because normally, what happens is like one of us has an idea or whatever, and you just throw it into the WhatsApp and say, "What do you think? Is this going to work?" And then no, and then you move on.
So everyone goes no, and then you go, "Well, fuck you then," and then someone leaves. And then someone else has to go and have a little chat with them and say, look, no, we still want you here. And they come back in and say, sorry, guys. And then someone makes a joke about them leaving, so they leave again. It's a process, It's a cycle.
But we've all been through it, so it's fine.
We have, yeah.
Yeah.
Some more than others.
Yeah, twice this week, in fact. One of the things about keeping the pod fresh, I mean, it wasn't really a conversation, but just like, I think Ian mentioned it on one of the shows or talks overs, and that we've had loads of amazing guests, and I think that's been one of the best things we've done in years.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
It's so good. All the guests we've had on have been fantastic. Having them back for multiple shows has been brilliant. I think we've been really lucky with the people we've chosen. They've been fantastic, and they really have added something. Whereas before, we might have been, I don't know, like nervous to like get someone in, or worried about what it would do to the flow, or how would the show still be the same show with different people? But absolutely it is, and I think it's only got better because we've brought amazing guests on.
Yeah, and I was going to say, like, credit to you, Matt, because like I'm always terrified of asking people. Whereas like Matt's the one who's done like 90% of the work for getting guests in, and they've been amazing. So yeah, that's been a big
but
deal.
even that has felt more, as for even getting guests on and asking has felt easier. Whereas before, I'm like, oh, do you want to come on to our little podcast? Whereas now I'm like, oh, we'd love to have you on. Here's kind of the process. Here's what we do. We've been really lucky with some of the people we've had on.
Yeah, totally. Right, last one. Once TCGS truly blows up and takes the entire video game world by storm, would TCGS ever consider bringing in third parties to lead on the editing front? I mean, it's weird, isn't it? Because it is a process and it's not always easy. But also there are some weeks where you would feel stupid for paying someone else to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
That's it.
So, yeah, don't know. I don't think our show's not involved enough, is it, to warrant like bringing in a external professional editor. I don't think it's not like, as they say, it's not like Criminal or something. It's not like a radio production in that sense. So yeah. Plus, we want to keep all the money. Don't want to give any away.
Truth.
Yeah. Anyone else?
No.
Good.
And that's it.
Someone called You Know Me, that Ben.
Oh, thanks. Sorry, thanks for asking those questions. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, it was. And if there's anything you want us to elaborate on, give us a shout. Because, I mean,
yes,
maybe, I don't know, there's no other way for us to do it. I was going to say maybe not like on the main show, but then I don't know where else we would do it.
Well, no, leave your email and stuff or whatever, and then we'll get back to you for sure.
Ben says, episode 299, eh? Got some quick questions. First, what do you think is the biggest mistake you've made in TCGS's run, apart from the rebrand and everyone tries to read like Tesco or spells the whole thing out?
The rebrand was great.
I mean, it's impossible to get out TCGS anywhere, so it sucks. Not a day goes by I don't think about that.
I think the rebrand was ace. I think the logo's... I still love our logo. Good. I think it's fucking...
Yeah, I still love that. But also every day I'm like, fucking TCGSCO, I hate it, but what can you do?
I'm fully alright with the social handles. The only one that gets me is like whenever we raid people on Twitch, it's like, I wonder how they're going to say it.
It's the word. Twitch is the worst for that.
Yeah. But hey ho.
Biggest regret, apologising for being a dick. That was a regret. Should never have done it.
Really?
Should never have done it.
Okay.
Yeah,
right,
really.
Right.
Good, Sean, what's yours?
Biggest mistake? I probably shouldn't have come back off paternity as quickly as I did because I was still in a bad way.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think it really showed on the show.
Nope.
But I was fucking exhausted.
Yeah, I feel the same. I came back after 8 months. That was stupid. Yeah,
because mine was only, what was it? It was like, oh no, I came back for E3, didn't I think? So it was July.
Yeah,
that's right.
Anyone else? Big regrets?
I don't know. I can't really think of any. That's like, I mean, there's tons of things I probably wish I'd never said or whatever like that.
Like what you said on the bus.
Yeah, that obviously.
Let's keep that flame alive. We haven't mentioned that for a while, have we?
Yeah. No, quick, that's that done.
What you said to me on the bus, do you remember, James?
Can't take that back.
The words are in your head. What I like about this is that the words are in your head now, and they're in my head now, and they're in Sean's head now. But a lot of people don't know that.
The next one, is there anything else you think the four of you could cover for 300 episodes that isn't video games?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, we can definitely just talk shit.
Yeah, of course we could.
We could just do a chat shit podcast, for sure.
But I don't think it'd be...
I don't
exactly.
How would we stand out?
Yeah, I don't know what would set us apart. Yeah, I think you're right. And not only that, we could do a chat shit podcast, but 20% of that every episode's going to be video games anyway. So it's not going to be much different.
Ben says, finally, do you fancy just packing it in now, just for a laugh? be funny, right, with such a milestone coming and there's live show tickets sold. So we'll just go, no, I'm not into games anymore.
It's funny you
So
say
it's got to
that.
be 499. It's got to be 499, not 299. We're not there. 499 or 999. It's going to be one of those, I think.
I mean, no. Is the
I
answer.
constantly think about
Or
just leaving.
298.
298. Even better. Well, we've just not even released this one.
Well, I'm thinking let's announce it now.
Yeah, let's get over it on with.
Okay.
No, I don't think about packing it in. I do sometimes think it would be nice to not need half of the nerd shit that I'm surrounded by all the time in my house. But realistically, I wanted the excuse to buy all of that stuff. So, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I mean, and obviously you do sometimes think, oh, what if I wasn't doing this? Like, would I get into woodworking? Would I have made a chair by now?
Rocking horse.
Oh, yeah. Summer.
Think of all the rocking horses you could have had.
A craft.
Spice rack. You could have had a lovely old spice rack there.
We actually need one, Dave. That's the worst part. You could do with a spice rack.
Get the fucking hacksaw out. Sure.
Maybe I'll make a guitar.
Yes.
I had a mate in college who insisted
that.
he could just learn how to make one and it'd be quite easy. It's like, mate.
It'd be quite easy.
And then I had to explain to him what a truss
There's so
rod
many
was,
of
he
your
didn't
friends
like
that I think that could apply to.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Right. The last one. We haven't really got time to read out the question because it was really long. But Mitch Robinson wrote in to explain that he's running a 10K the day after TCGSCON, and he's raising money for the Alzheimer's Society. Well, he didn't give us the link to the fundraiser. If you could tweet it at us, Mitch, or send it in, and we'll share that, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, so send it in and we'll read it out on episode 300. Why not?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Is that it?
That is it.
Cool, Matt. Let's get to the socials.
This Thursday, Sea of Friends is happening. That's Thursday night at 9 p.m.
Yeah, mate.
Sean, can you announce who will be on? No. But it's happening Thursday night at 9. If you missed last week, all of the previous Sea of Friends streams are on, but last week it was Sarah Dyer and Chris Spann.
Yeah. Sarah's
so if
ace.
you missed that live, it's on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, it was really good.
Go and watch
I had
it.
a lot of fun. Enjoyed that.
Yeah, so that's for twitch.tv/TCGSCO. No James Farley stream this week, although last week, James, you streamed Sonic Till I Die. You played Sonic games, all the ones you own, until you died, and then you moved down the list onto the next one. How's that?
It was all right. I mean, this is the thing. I was thinking about doing something this week, but can I just stream some old retro games or something? I don't know.
100%, man. Whatever you want.
Literally do whatever you want, James.
Yeah, I might, because I've got. Do you remember those collections that Sega put out on the 360?
Oh, the Sega.
yeah.
Oh no, is that something else?
Yeah, there was they did collections that had Shinobi and some other stuff. I
Yeah,
might
it's like Sega Mega Drive Collection or whatever. Yeah,
I might just stick some of those on because I enjoyed playing those and they're good games. Just for a little bit, I don't know. Might do that.
Well, there'll be a retro stream, Retro Farley, this Friday, possibly from 9 p.m. That's also on twitch.tv/TCGSCO. If you miss on live, just go to our YouTube channel. What was that, David?
Dr. Retro. That's what you should call yourself, James.
Okay.
He's easily led, isn't he?
Called Dr. S, Dr. Retro stream.
So, all right, well, I'll get the forms done. I'll get, deed poll. £8, is it? Hello.
I want to see a Dr. Retro
James
outfit on for Friday's stream, James.
I mean, it'll just be a white lab coat, won't it?
Just make sure you bring your webcam this time. If you have Amazon Prime, you've got Twitch Prime Gaming, and if you connect your Twitch account with your Amazon account, you have one free sub a month, which you can give to another channel. We'd really appreciate it if you went over to our channel and gave it to us. Please do that. We really appreciate everyone that does that. Patreon.com/TCGS, that Patreon. Go there for exclusive podcast, live talks, there's VR games now. There's a bunch of stuff over there, a bunch of different tiers. Really appreciate everyone who goes over and supports what we're doing over here. If you're buying stuff on the Epic Games Store, either on PC or console, whether that's Rocket League stuff, V-Bucks in Fortnite, wherever it is, enter the creator code TCGS at checkout and we get a small kickback when we hit a certain threshold. And TCGS.co is the website where you can get TCGSCon tickets, and there's single figures now, links to our Discord, social channels, podcasts, and everything else we do over there.
Cool. Next week, it's the live show. Please come and join us. 9 p.m. on the 9th of May, episode 300. Alexa, remind me on the 9th of May that TCGS is doing a live show on Twitch. Hopefully that's worked.
For everyone.
We'll see you. We'll see you there. Thank you so much for living it. We'll catch you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.